Welcome to the Badger Max Thursday Night Lights High School Football Game of the Week. We're live in Mukwonago as the Indians take on the Black Shirts from Waukesha South in a Classic 8 conference showdown between two 1-1 teams. Thanks for joining us. I'm Mike McGivern. I'm with Sports Radio 105.7 FM The Fan, and this is the Fan pregame show. I'm joined by the two head coaches tonight's game, Clay Iverson from Mukwonago, Dave Roosh from Waukesha South. Clay, let's start with you. First and foremost, thanks for having us out. What a beautiful facility, brand new, the field looks great, and just really proud of the community for stepping up.
Yeah, you know, we know how fortunate we are to have a place like this. Our community did step up for our kids. A lot of people put in a lot of work, and that's what makes Mukwonago such a special place to coach, teach, and to live. So we're really excited to have you guys here and Waukesha South here. It should be a great day.
You know what's awesome is it's just not that football facility. The band is here, the number of teams that get to practice.
Band, soccer, Phi-Ed, everything as Coach can attest to. This is it's a facility for the whole community, so we couldn't be more happier. And again, a lot of the community stepped up, and that's what makes it a great place to be.
That's awesome. Dave, we had a chance to have you on last week, and tough first half, but that third quarter, I think, showed a lot of people what Waukesha South football is all about. Came out third quarter, showed a lot of heart. It's tough when you're down that far to come all the way back, but you had to be proud of that team.
I was very proud of them. They requested to talk amongst themselves before I even got in there. So the fight was there, and we came back on the field and said, we're not throwing in the towel. We're starting this game again, and we're going to get after it. So very, very proud of them.
Yeah, that was impressive. Clay, let's talk about your team 1-1. How are you feeling about this year's group?
Well, I like what we have. It's early in the season as we hit conference play now. We got some young kids and some kids that played last year but are playing in different positions. But it's time for us to grow up a little bit. We've challenged our kids this week against a really good Waukesha South team to step up. And when you're in the Classic 8, there's no time to we got to be growing up today. If not, it won't end the way we want to.
Really quick on the Classic 8, we talk about that being the best conference state, and I know your thought on this. You don't care about anybody else. You're talking about Mukwonago and the game ahead of you, but this conference just keeps getting better and better.
Yeah, it does, and all the teams now 1 through 8 are really good. But you go crazy worrying about other teams, so we're worried about ourselves and us getting better week to week and playing as hard as we can. That's about all we can control. Anything else drive you crazy.
No doubt. And, we talked about the conference last week. Conference openers are always special. Feeling good about how this team responded from last week?
I am. I mean, they bounced back. They're good about putting stuff in the past and letting that be there and then moving on forward. They were ready to go right the next day. So we focused in, and we're ready for a big game tonight.
Hey, before I cut you guys loose, you got somebody you want to say hello to, yes?
Yeah, my little granddaughter, Mackenzie. She was wanting me to do this last week, and I didn't, so Papa says hi, Mackenzie.
That's awesome. Hi, Mackenzie. Guys, I'm going to cut you guys loose. On the other side of the break, John Weiser, Terry Kelly will get you the keys to the game. This is the Badger Max Thursday Night Lights High School Football Game of the Week only on My 24.
Welcome back to Hensler Field in Mukwonago tonight, a Classic 8 conference opener between Waukesha South and Mukwonago. John Weiser and Terry Kelly with you once again, your Thursday Night Lights telecasters as we get set for this exciting matchup. Both teams come in with a record of 1-1, winning in Week 1. Mukwonago over Horlick, Waukesha South picking up their win in Week 1 as well. Both teams struggled a little bit in week number 2, Terry, having to come from behind in the second half but coming up short.
Yeah, to their credit, they both came back, but now this is a key game. You have to start off with that win in your conference. You got to somehow get 4 wins to get to the playoffs, and in the Classic 8, that's a tough chore.
I was going to say, this is maybe the premier conference in high school football right now, the Classic 8 conference. 4 teams shared the conference crown a year ago.
Right, and there was a fifth, Waukesha West, fifth one hanging down there. They got in Mukwonago, and they advanced to the third round.
Let's talk about our matchups tonight. Let's start first with Waukesha South. Offensively, it starts with their quarterback, Nolan Heck, and their running back, Anthony Johnson.
Right, they have to make sure they can move the ball, and they did have some success last week. And over on defense, we see with Waukesha South, one of the things they have to make sure they do, they've got Justin Hallback, outside linebacker, returned interception for a touchdown, and Gabe Rasmussen, outstanding inside linebacker.
One of the sure tacklers in the Classic 8 conference. On the other side for Mukwonago, it's run the football. It always has been, going all the way back to the Hensler years.
Always will be. And they've said Tommy Hudkowitz has to do a good job managing the game. Hard-running fullback Liam Jones really runs hard, had a good second half against Oak Creek.
Talk about their defense.
On their defense, they're both dependent on the same type of hard-nosed defense that's been typical of Mukwonago. You've got Evan Major, who is one of the defensive linemen, and John Ryback, who Coach Clay Iverson says, throwback to the old days.
Let's take a look now at our Badger Max keys to the ball game tonight. How do you have it drawn up?
Well, if you look at Waukesha South, they've got to stop Mukwonago's run game. It's a whole different thing than last week against the pass. They've got to find a way to make use of their skill people, and then they've got to control the clock so you limit Mukwonago's chances.
And for the Mukwonago Indians?
Mukwonago Indians, they've got to make sure what they're going to work with is they've got to contain Anthony Johnson. He makes their offense go. They've got to make sure they have ball security. That really has been a factor in their first 2 games. And then what they want to make sure they do, they've got to move the ball like they did in the second half against Oak Creek.
These two teams matched up last year, a very close ball game that was won in the second half by Mukwonago. We'll see what happens here tonight. Our Badger Max Thursday Night Lights in Mukwonago, the Indians taking on Waukesha South. We'll have the kickoff for you right after this on My 24. Welcome back to Hensler Field, the newly rededicated Hensler Field here in Mukwonago. The Indians getting set to take on Waukesha South, the Black Shirts tonight, the conference opener in the Classic 8 conference tonight. And a beautiful night for football. Temperatures in the 70s, a little humid, but very breezy out here tonight in Mukwonago. We're going to enjoy our national anthem here tonight. Gwen Gannon, a senior here at Mukwonago High School, will do the honors solo tonight here at Hensler Field.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleam, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight, o'er the ramparts we watched, were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the
Outstanding job by senior Gwen Gannon, senior here at Mukwonago High School, as we get set for our third week of Thursday Night Lights presented by Badger Max here on My 24. John Weiser, Terry Kelly, Mike McGivern, Kara, and our entire crew pleased to be with you from Mukwonago here tonight. Our game ball presentation tonight will be delivered by Staff Sergeant Carlos Pena, recruiter from the reserve station in South Milwaukee, and Brian Purdy, a Pooley from Mukwonago, joining him on the field as we present our game ball to the officiating crew here tonight. Our crew tonight led by referee Doug Laurent. B.J. Lagaki is the umpire, Vince DePlaris the line judge, Bob Pop the linesman, and the back judge Gary Neibauer, all members of the Eastern Wisconsin Officials Association. And we thank Staff Sergeant Carlos Pena and Brian Purdy with our game ball presentation here tonight. Prior to tonight's game, Tony Resch, owner and founder of Raising the Stakes Fundraising and Leadership Development, along with tonight's officiating crew and team captains, took part in the pregame coin toss Tony and Raising the Stakes fundraising work with schools and youth athletic programs around the state to help them develop and fund their programs. Our coin toss tonight won by Mukwonago. They have deferred to the second half. Waukesha South in the white jerseys will receive going left to right as we get set for our ball game tonight.
We're waiting to see, John, who is going to wind up kicking off, and it's going to be the sophomore they've brought up because of an injury to the kicker. It's number 40, Ben Morris, be kicking off for the Indians.
Kicking into a bit of a breeze, and it will be brought down on the far side. With it is Schroeder. Schroeder trying to break a tackle across the 15. Won't make it to the 20 as he is swarmed under by the special teamers from Mukwonago.
It looked like Nick Tangway was one of the guys who got in there and initially was held up by number 8. And that's Zach Zaborowski, kind of a do-all player for Mukwonago.
So South will get the football just shy of the 20-yard line. Nolan Heck at quarterback. Anthony Johnson, Ethan Hoagland, and Virgil Jones in the backfield. Split end is Tyler Carnegie, wide receiver Antonio Sanchez, and the tight end is Ryan Lark. And they'll give it to Johnson on the pitch near side. Gets it across the 20 to the 21-yard line where he is ushered out of bounds there.
As we talked in the pregame, we mentioned that Anthony Johnson is kind of the key cog in this offense, and they've got to find a number of ways to get him the ball.
You look at the offense, right to left, Mason Dennert at right guard, TJ Garrity at right tackle. The center, Mason Dennert. Left guard, Jake Steffes. Ben Conrath is your left tackle tonight for the Black Shirts. 2nd down and 8. First pass of the ball game, and it is dropped. Trying to find Tyler Carnegie. He was open in the seam out across the 25-yard line. Simply dropped the football.
Yeah, even though they've got Anthony Johnson as the running back, last week they threw the ball 41 times. Nolan connected on 25 of those tosses.
Major, Verts, Benzinger up front, 3-4 alignment. Tangway, Ryback, Wilm, and Hintz, the linebackers in the secondary of Pratt, Zaborowski, Crawley, and Komar. 3rd down, 3rd and 8 for the Black Shirts from the pistol. Carnegie out of the slot, comes in motion near side, now heads back. And they'll swing it out to Carnegie. A little bit of a wide receiver screen across the 25 out to the 27-yard line, short of the first down. Good pursuit that time by the Indian defense.
Yeah, last week the Indian defense got off kind of a slow start against a very good Oak Creek game, so I'm pretty sure that as we watched the defensive practice this week, Coach Iverson was really working on these guys to make sure they were sure tacklers.
Trevor Wilm was the first man in for Mukwonago on the tackle. Sets up 4th down. Antonio Sanchez will punt this one away. Zach Zaborowski standing inside his own 35-yard line awaiting the kick. Snap went over the head, bounced right back to Sanchez. Got off a pretty decent punt. Bounces across midfield, be picked up by Zaborowski on the run across the 45 midfield. Across the 45-40 and rolled out of bounds inside the 35-yard line of Waukesha South. A good return. They let that ball hit the turf, but it took a favorable bounce for Zaborowski, able to return it back to Waukesha South territory. Schroeder on the tackle for the Black Shirts.
Well, Mukwonago winds up with excellent field position, and now they want to see can they get off to an equally fast start on offense. They love to run the ball, but Coach Iverson said, we may be surprised to see what they might try to do to open the game up. We'll see if he's true to his word.
Tommy Hodkowitz is the senior quarterback. Running a little pistol here. He'll keep it himself, trying to go over left side. Met at the line of scrimmage, fell forward for a couple.
First couple of weeks, they were experiencing a number of problems with their snap as well as the ball handling in the backfield. Now they've got their starting center back. He went out after the first game with an injury, Tanner Beland, and we'll see if that makes things be a little smoother.
You look at the starting offense, Carlson and Cordell on the left side, Beland, Hendrickson, Krebs on the right side. 2nd down, and the keep, late pitch to the pitch man outside. Going down the far sideline inside the 20 is Radowitz. Colin Radowitz, the 6-foot senior, with a strong carry down the far sideline, picks up the Wisconsin Lutheran College first down of our ball game.
Yeah, he scored one of the touchdowns last week against Oak Creek, and once again, as we mentioned a bit earlier, they got the running game going in that second half against Oak Creek.
And once again, our first down sponsored this season by Wisconsin Lutheran College. Every first down made. And there was a comprehensive Christian college offering 37 undergraduate majors, an accelerated degree completion program for adult learners, and graduate degree options. Learn more at WLC.edu. Dive over the middle, not much there. So we set the defense for you. 44 look for this Waukesha South defense. Pitchford, good to see John Chow back in the lineup. He was suffering cramp issues in the second half last week against Oconomowoc. Lindsay, TJ Garrity up front, Hallbach, Rasmussen, Baki, and Wilson the backers, and the secondary of Schroeder, LeCaptain, and Dorothy. We're in the Goodwill power zone. And the pitch to Radowitz, cuts it near side, inside the 10 to the goal line, touchdown. Zach Genrich, number 21, gets the first touchdown of the ball game. The 5'10 junior with his second touchdown run of the season on a pitch to the near side.
Yeah, last week he also scored that touchdown in the second half against Oak Creek, really got him going. Now as we watch them get set up for this extra point, they've gotten off to that start, the fast start that Clay Iverson wanted to see. Obviously, Dave Roosh was trying to see if could his guys once again put the clamps on somebody so they don't have to fight their way back in the second half.
Well, both teams made it clear they wanted to get off to a quick start here tonight. Mukwonago has struck first here. They're going to go for two. Full house backfield. They'll break it off, sending Gendrich in motion. Hotkowitz in trouble on the scramble, and he's going to go down at the 4-yard line.
Once again,
nice job defensively there to pick him off. That was Jonathan Chow again. Good to see him on the field. Suffered some cramping issues last week in the second half.
A little miscommunication there. He went to pitch the ball, and suddenly he turned the wrong way, and things weren't quite as they had planned. A little surprised. I think it might be because of the injury to their kicker, Alec Benzinger, a junior, that they may have decided, okay, we'll go for two. Maybe they didn't want to put pressure on that young sophomore.
I want to remind you that Badger Max Thursday Night Lights available streaming live online. Log on to my24milwaukee.com. Click on the TNL link. You can also find complete game videos and photos from our season's games. my24milwaukee.com. A smart drive set up by the nice punt return inside the 35-yard line, and Mukwonago able to finish it off to take a 6-0 lead.
We talked about Waukesha South needing to run some clock. If you let a run offense like Mukwonago get going, it can make for a really long evening. So I'm sure Coach Roosh and his offensive coordinator, Aaron, his nephew, are going to try to see what they can do to take advantage of Mukwonago's tendency. They were bringing a couple linebackers on their first series. We'll see if that continues.
Again, Ben Morris, a sophomore, just brought up this week to do the kicking here for the Indians. Has it teed up near side 40. Gets this one away. And the return up the 20. With it is Knigge. Knigge out across the 30-yard line with a smart return out to the 34-yard line. 16-yard return brought down by Eric Novotny for the Indians.
Got better field position to start out this set of downs. Be interesting to see what are they going to do. Are they going to try to find a way to get Anthony Johnson to the outside? You were talking about some of the plays they might use.
Let's head down to the sideline. Our first visit tonight with Mike McGivern.
Hey guys, listen to Clay Iverson as he talked to their defense. They're talking about Waukesha South goes to trips, how they're going to handle that. What I loved about it is he said, look guys, fully engaged, eyes here, do not watch what's going on the field. Let's talk about what we're going to do next time they get the ball. He's in control of that team, I got to tell you.
He's in control of a lot of things. We saw Monday in practice. He was all over special teams. In the defense, he was in with the linebackers. He was in with the offensive backs. Clay Iverson, as you say, the Energizer Bunny.
On steroids.
A nice play there. They spread him out, handed off to Anthony Johnson. Got a nice gain there of 4, second down and 6. These are some of the things I think Waukesha South will have to do here tonight. Get Johnson the ball in some different looks. In trouble with it is Heck, and Heck able to break away, and they got it out to Johnson actually, and Johnson able to pick up what appears to be a first down, very close to the first down stick.
And once again, you saw Mukwonago shoot a linebacker. I think they're trying to disrupt the backfield, make sure Anthony Johnson gets thrown off course. That time, Heck was able to avoid that first tackler, was able to dump the ball out to Johnson.
Good open field tackle out there on the defensive side of things by Keanu Komar. Komar, a senior. Be 3rd and short. They'll pitch it to Johnson, coming back near side. Johnson trying to get the edge set, gets it across the 45, should have enough for a Wisconsin Lutheran College first down. Good heady run that time to the near sideline by Anthony Johnson.
That's key for Waukesha South. They've got to string together some first downs, as we mentioned. They've got to run some clock. You don't want to give that ball back to Mukwonago.
So 1st and 10 for Waukesha South at their own 46-yard line. 8:40 to go, first quarter. They trail by 6. Now you get that double wing look, that tight look, and the inside handoff both to Johnson, then to Hoagland. Hoagland coming around the right side, gets close to a first down, a run of about 8 that time on the double exchange between Johnson and Hoagland.
They ran that little counter play. It actually, get that lead blocker to lead them up through the hole. Got a good gain on first down. That's what they need to do, is get that 6, 7, 8 yards on that first down. Gives you more options for calling plays.
Matt Verts, the nose tackle, finally chasing Hoagland down, but not before he picked up 8. 2nd down, 2. Again, that tight formation with the double wing. Hoagland now will break out. Get the inside handoff to Johnson, coming around near side, cuts it back at the hash, gets the first down inside the 40, down to the 39-yard line, wrestled down by Trevor Wilm, the senior inside backer for the Indians.
You can see Johnson's quick feet as he picks that way. He was a first-team all-conference performer last year in the Classic 8. You see him take that ball, a little dip, cuts it back outside, plants that foot, heads upfield.
We saw this last week when they played Oconomowoc. Oconomowoc got up early. Waukesha South came back on that very next possession, flipped the football field. This time they'll go trips to the left side. Heck gonna throw, completes the pass to Carnegie, setting down in that seam at the 35-yard line. Tyler Carnegie, a 5'11 senior, one of the captains on the offensive side of the ball for Waukesha South.
Yeah, last week we thought in some ways Heck was targeting the Ryan Lark quite a bit, but as we looked carefully at the stats, he was spreading the ball around to 4 different receivers. And if you get a little 5-yard hit like that, each play, it's really going to open up their entire offense.
Same formation, trips to the left side here on 2nd and 6, excuse me. Heck, they send a blitz. He'll dump it off. He's got a screen set up here with Johnson, and he'll scoot out of bounds short of the first down. Good read by the defense that time. Spread the field, forced him out of bounds.
Excellent pursuit by Mukwonago. We saw him doing a little game that they, Alec Benzinger, bothered a little bit by a hit, but he's playing great defense, and they really were working in their showdown section on how do you use the sideline to help you make the tackle.
Third and about 5 here for Waukesha South. Carnegie in motion. The give is to Johnson. Johnson picking his way in the hole, but met and stood up in the second level. Got through the line of scrimmage, but then the backing core, led by Trevor Wilm once again, meets him short of the first down. It'll set up 4th and short for the Black Shirts.
In Trevor Wilm and John Ryback, Mukwonago has 2 very fine inside linebackers.
Right there, set the play nicely at that linebacker position. So 4th and short here. We'll call it 3 for Waukesha South. They'll go double wing. And they'll run that counter play. Hoagland, he'll get the first down and more inside the 25 down to the 24-yard line.
When you've got a good runner like Anthony Johnson, he starts one way and suddenly he hands it off to Hoagland going the other way. You've put your defense in a bind.
Gain of 7 and a first down. Another Wisconsin Lutheran College first down for Waukesha South. You talk about running some clock and flipping the field position here is exactly what Waukesha South has done here. Their first drive since giving up the touchdown to Mukwonago. Again, Hoagland in a wing right, Johnson a wing left. Heck wants to throw, has time, going over the middle, looking for Lark, and he's overthrown, incomplete.
One thing we notice right here is number 25, Ethan Hoagland, with a little bit of a limp. He came out of that last play trying to shake it off.
Ryan Lark, the tight end, the intended target. Caught 9 passes last week for 119 yards in the loss to the Cooney out in Oconomowoc. So 2nd and 10, ball at the 25-yard line. Again, they'll line up with Hoagland at a wing right, Johnson on a wing left. Play action, they'll swing it out to Hoagland left side. Has some blockers down the sideline and out of bounds near the 20-yard line. Pickup of about 5 as he's run out there. Zach Hintz able to run him out of bounds on that far boundary.
Number 66, Zach Steffes for Waukesha South, really maintained a block out there for a long time that allowed him to get that gain. Correct that. We got number 56. That's Ben Conrath.
Conrath, the left tackle out there, 6'4", 195, and a senior. Mukwonago will take a timeout. We'll take a break as well. Just over midway through our first quarter in Mukwonago tonight. Indians with a 6-0 lead. Our Badger Max Thursday Night Lights on My 24. Early 6-0 lead for Mukwonago tonight over the Waukesha South Black Shirts. Let's head downstairs to Kara.
Thank you so much, guys. I've got Lucas Faust with Wisconsin Lutheran College down here with me. I hear it's been a pretty exciting week for you guys. Can you tell us a little bit about that?
Sure. This week we started school on Monday, so we welcome back all of our students, and it was a great experience for us to welcome our biggest freshman class ever in school history. So a lot of buzz going around campus, a lot of excitement, and it's a great time to look forward to an exciting year. So,
if folks are looking for more information on WLC, where can they find it?
if they want to go to WLC.edu, they can go and find information on a Discovery Day that's coming up on September 25th. So come on out and see the campus, explore our 37 majors, and have a great time getting to meet our faculty and staff.
Well, thank you so much for joining us tonight.
Thanks, Kara.
And back to you.
Kara, thank you so much. Good to have you on board once again here tonight. Johnson on the carry, short of the first down at the 19-yard line, sets up a 4th and 4 here for Waukesha South. They converted on their other 4th down attempt on this drive. Johnson the single back. 3 receivers here to the near side. And Heck looking right, throwing right, completes the pass. Knigge inside the 15-yard line, diving catch at the 13. Should be enough for a Wisconsin Lutheran College first down.
Just out of the grasp of Connor Ananich to make that completion. Once again, Waukesha South doing what it needs to do.
Nice reception by Knigge. One more time downstairs to Mike McGivern.
Hey guys, John Ryback, he's on the bench, got some ice on his left leg. Might get back in the game. Said he's been dealing with this for a couple of weeks.
Observation, Mike. We'll keep an eye on it as Hoagland breaks a tackle inside the 10, diving down to the 9-yard line. Good strong run by Ethan Hoagland, the senior.
Got bounced off that first hit, just continued moving upfield.
Well, it was a hit show on cable, and now it's coming to broadcast TV. Don't miss Kira Sedgwick as the closer. That's Wednesdays at 7, starting September 30th, right here on Milwaukee's My 24. Get another look at that strong run by Hoagland. Ball just inside the 10-yard line. We're in the Goodwill Power Zone. Welcome the folks at Goodwill for that sponsorship. Johnson coming back near side, inside the 5, stops short of the goal line. Good pursuit on the backside that time by Zaborowski. Zach Zaborowski, the strong safety coming out of nowhere, saves the touchdown.
Well, they set that play up. They've been running the counter. This time they faked the counter, and Johnson kept the ball. Got to the outside. Going to have a 1st and goal situation.
Again, the great folks at Goodwill are our sponsor this season. When the team drives inside the opponent's 20-yard line, they've entered the Power Zone, brought to you by Goodwill and the power of work. Ball on the 2. Hand it off. Johnson racing to the pylon, far side, breaks a tackle, dives forward, stepped out of bounds before he got to the pylon. They will mark him out at the 1. That left foot hit the sideline. The line judge right there saying, yep, your left foot hit the boundary before you put the ball over the plane.
I think initially Anthony thought he had that corner, was going to get it in, and he just ran out of space.
Tangway was there. One more look. Simple toss sweep to the left side. Came up just a little bit short. Second and goal from just inside the 2-yard line. Johnson will get the carry, dives forward, no signal yet. And they will mark him short once again. This time inside the 1-yard line. Well, do you go back to the Johnson one more time here? Good pursuit there inside. That was Connor Anich. Broke through first, got him by ankles, slowed him up just that much to keep him short of the goal line.
Now with Ryback out of there, they're getting good penetration. Their defensive line for Mukwonago a little bit bigger than that Waukesha South offensive line.
This time it'll be the quarterback. Heck keeps it. Touchdown, Waukesha South. Nolan Heck, the senior, able to punch it in from inside the 1. A very smart drive here by Waukesha South. They answer Mukwonago to tie the game at 6.
You know, Coach Rush is really proud of his kids and the fight that they displayed last week. And I think, you know, we're seeing that play itself out right away in this first quarter. So essential for them. Make sure that they match, you know, score for score with Muck.
Garrity on the snap, the hold by Peterson, and the kick by Sanchez goes through. Waukesha South takes the lead, 7-6. With just over 3 minutes to go here as we take one more look. Just enough surge by that offensive line.
You see them, they got lower. Low man wins. That basic rule played out there for Waukesha South.
A 12-play drive by Waukesha South. Check that 19-play drive. Took nearly 5 minutes off the clock, so success all around if you're Coach Rush, right? That's exactly what you want.
That's 5 minutes where Mukwonago doesn't have the ball, plus you've got the score.
Got a nice crowd in attendance here tonight. Students back in school this week. Good student section. Waukesha South fans here tonight. We're the Mukwonago Braves. Terry, we were at practice here Monday. It's like a clown car atmosphere. All these kids just kept coming and coming and coming for their junior practice.
The word horde described what came across the field, and you know that's excellent. These guys are here watching the guys who are their heroes. They don't have to go watch somebody Saturday or Sunday. In Mukwonago, the players on the field right now are the hero for the young Braves.
Sanchez's kick, he'll keep it low. It'll be touched by one of the by Muhlenkamp. Muhlenkamp touched it and then picked up by the back that time, Zach Seward, and then was brought down by Tyler Knigge on special teams. So I'll stop him just short of the 25-yard line. That's where Mukwonago will take over their own 25. 3:08 to go here in the quarter.
You know, Waukesha South would love to force a 3-and-out, get that ball back, and see if they can build off that momentum that they just displayed.
Tommy Hotkowitz at quarterback. Works under center. And we got a whistle, stopping play. Flag on the play, our first penalty of the night, thrown by the line judge on the far side of the field.
Number 14, Gabe Kasauskas, is also the backup quarterback, and they were going to look for various ways to spread the ball around also to Gabe. They were also hoping during the course of the game to get number 3, Patrick Muhlenkamp,
still first
young man with very good speed. So they've got the hard-running backs with Jones, Genrich, and Radowich, but they also want to get that offense a little bit more multidimensional.
Legal procedure call moves them back 5, 1st and 15 for the Indians. Their own 19-yard line. Good tough run up the middle, gets those 5 yards back that time by Radowitz, Colin Radowitz. Senior running back, brought down. Skylar Sudeman able to bring him down. So gets 6 of those yards back, sets up a 2nd and 9 for Mukwonago.
As you look at that Waukesha South, defensive line, we're talking 190, 198, 178. Garrity's the only big guy at 230. Mukwonago's going to want to take advantage of that.
Hotquitz will keep it, and he's chased down from behind. Good, smart play that time defensively. John Chow, he was all over the field last week against Oconomowoc, comes up with his first stop here tonight, the senior defensive lineman.
John, excellent student according to Coach Roosh, 3.9. Last week we were watching, we were worried it was more serious injury. Cramps in both legs took him out, and that was something that hurt the Waukesha South defense.
Jones, the fullback, behind the quarterback Hotquitz. In motion is Radowitz, and he'll get the toss going right side. Has some blocks, but good play defensively once again. Justin Holbach, we talked about him in the pregame, talked him up the outside linebacker, got an arm tackle that time to bring Radowitz down.
Yeah, last week he returned a pass that was tipped by John Chow, took it in for a touchdown. Big play at that time, helping to get Waukesha South back in the game against Cooney.
4th down for Mukwonago. Again, we head downstairs to Mike McGivern.
Hey guys, listening to Clay with the defensive group right now, he said, boys, they have our attention now. They have our attention. We need to stay in our gap. We need to wrap up, get our hands up a little bit when we're rushing the quarterback. I think he feels pretty good, but he's asking these boys to give him just a little bit more.
Zaborowski's punt drifts out of bounds near midfield. He'll mark it out at the black shirt 49-yard line with 1:02 to go here in our first quarter and a 7-6 Waukesha South lead.
Coach Roosh talked about their theme for this season. Why not us? They had a tough season last year in terms of wins, but they were in all their ball games except one. So they've been, the more that you see them have some success, the more the confidence grows, becomes a self-fulfilling prophecy.
Nolan Heck working out of the gun, has Johnson in the backfield, double slot with Carnegie in motion. The hand to Johnson, coming around left side with some room. Johnson across midfield into Mukwonago territory, down to the Indian 44-yard line. Gain of 7 on the play for Anthony Johnson.
You watch Johnson lower the shoulder that time, run right into that defender, knock him backwards.
It was Zach Heinz, the linebacker, who took the punishment there. Check that, number 9, Keanu Komar. My mistake. Official stopping play here. Now we got everybody set. Roll the clock, 27 seconds to go in the quarter. Heck again, slot left, slot right with Carnegie in motion, right side. He'll take the handoff on a sweep, coming near side. Now cuts it at the hash mark, and a good pursuit by the Indians. Stops him for a 1-yard loss. Defense was ready that time. It was led by Trevor Wilm again. That's his 4th tackle of the night. And that should run out our first quarter here in Mukwonago. South will take it to the quarter break, and they'll take the 1-point lead on the quarterback keep by Heck. And the extra point by Sanchez. 7-6 Waukesha South. Our Badger Max Thursday Night Lights in Mukwonago on My 24. One-point advantage for Waukesha South as we begin quarter number 2 under the lights at Hensler Field in Mukwonago. A gorgeous late summer or early autumn evening, however you want to label it here tonight. South facing a 3rd and short. The pitch going to Hoagland. Hoagland cutting it upfield. Hoagland will get the first down inside the 40, down to the 39-yard line. A 6-yard pickup and a Wisconsin Lutheran College first down for Ethan Hoagland of Waukesha South.
Hoagland with a real nice run here. Once again, he knows how to stop, immediately go vertical, get that ball upfield.
Trevor Wilm again in on the stop, his 5th tackle of the night for Mukwonago. Wisconsin Lutheran 1st and 10 here for Waukesha South. Hoagland in motion. Heck will roll to his right. Wants to set up a screen. Instead will go deep, nearly intercepted and broken up. Late flag on the play. Pass intended for John Arvidsson, a junior. There might have been contact as the defensive back coming across looking for the swipe. That was Levi Pratt, I believe, might have been the guilty party.
Yeah, he got his hand on the ball. Question is whether he had a hand also on the back prior to that.
Can't quite see it there. Was late coming into your picture on the left side, but the official was standing right there. So pass interference against the Indians, marked off from the line of scrimmage. So it'll be a 15-yard walk-off. And then we'll mark it at the 24-yard line of the Indians. Again, the replay, we weren't quite sure if he had the left hand draped over the back or not, but the official was right there as they go toss sweep left side. Johnson trying to get the edge. A good stiff arm, gets back to the line of scrimmage. Stepping up, making the initial contact defensively. That was Nick Tangway who got the brunt of that stiff arm from Anthony Johnson.
You know, one thing we saw Coach Iverson working on Monday was the pursuit angles, and they really run well. Ryback is down below us trying to get himself back in the game. If it's been a reoccurring problem with his knee, a little stiffness, he's trying to get back on that field. But right now, Indian defense showing that they move very well laterally.
Be a loss of 2, 2nd and 12 for the Black Shirts. Inside handoff, Hoagland trying to work his way back across the 15 down to about the 13-yard line. One more time, Mike McGivern, what do you have?
Hey guys, talking to Coach Roosh before the game, talked about last week's telecast, and I said, look, we got so many guys cramping up, a couple of guys talking about being hungry. He said, we addressed that on Monday. And he said, I think we're going to be way better off. We looked at a nutrition program. Everybody's following it. He said, thank you to us for bringing that up.
All right, good observation there. 3rd down and 9 from the 24. Heck rolling out. Heck will keep it. Heck breaks a tackle, spun out of one, but then right into the big arms of Matt Verts, the senior nose tackle, able to bring him down his 3rd stop tonight.
Yeah, Matt Verts, he's 5'11", 225, but you saw him run all the way to the outside there to make that tackle.
So the field goal unit on here, this will be a 39-yard attempt from the right hash mark. And Sanchez has got a 36-yarder. To his credit, will get this one off. And it is up and plenty of distance and good.
That's his 3rd field goal of the season, and Coach Roosh is very confident in what Anthony Sanchez can do. Antonio Sanchez is his kicker.
39-yard boot by Sanchez makes it a 10-6 ball game. Again, we want to remind you that Badger Max Thursday Night Lights is available streaming live online. Log on to my24milwaukee.com. Click on the Thursday Night Lights link. You can also find complete game videos and photos from this season's games. That's at my24milwaukee.com. 8 plays, just under 3 minutes. And the 39-yard field goal by Sanchez makes it a 10-6 ball game.
Well, we've seen Waukesha South respond to the Mukwonago score. Now Mukwonago has to see, can they turn it into similar performance?
Well, we've visited with Mike and Kara so far tonight, and again, all season long, Mike and Kara visiting with our sponsors, coaches, and other guests down on the sidelines, letting you know about the great things going on in the schools and great communities like Mukwonago. Our sideline reports are being brought to you by Menards.
Another one of their players, we'll talk about this in a little more detail, involved with track.
That's a Wisconsin Lutheran College 1st down for Mukwonago. Hatkowitz wants to throw, completes the pass. Woznicki across midfield down to the south 47-yard line.
On the season so far this year, correct me if I'm wrong, John, Mukwonago has a grand total of 20 yards passing. If they've been a run-first team, they've got to find a way to loosen up that Waukesha South defense and not let them be effective with that psychoed Nebo-type defense.
Want to welcome everybody back. We had a little bit of a technical problem with our satellites tonight, but we're back with you in Mukwonago. Indians looking for it all here on first down, in the air, caught inside the 15-yard line. Patrick Muhlenkamp, the senior, 5'7", with the beautiful reception looking back at the 13-yard line for Mukwonago.
Offensive coordinator Lee Purdy said they wanted to find a way to use number 3 because of his good speed. We talked about only having thrown for 20 yards. They just surpassed that on that one play.
He was double-teamed on the play between Schroeder and LeCaptain and somehow got that one in. Beautiful toss there by Hatkowitz.
Now they said it's not for a lack of skill that they haven't passed the ball well. It's just kind of how things have played out, and that Tommy Hatkowitz has a heck of a good arm.
Alex Gale will check in now out at that wideout spot. And the handoff will go to Genrich. Gets the corner, looking for the pylon. Touchdown, Mukwonago. Zach Genrich with the run. The chase was on, and he beat his man to the pylon for the score. Mukwonago retakes the lead.
And when he ran back in motion from his wingback position, Mukwonago found itself in one of their favorite offensive set. They're back in the wishbone. Goes all the way back to days of Keith Hensler, and their offensive coordinator, Lee Purdy, loves it.
Nice job bouncing that to the outside. That play originally was going to go off left tackle, but a good decision that time on the part of Genrich to take that one outside to the pylon. This time the Indians will kick for the extra point. Remember, they missed on the 2-point conversion on their first touchdown. Snap, spot, kick is up, and the kick is good.
That'll give that sophomore a lot of confidence.
Ben Morris able to tack on the extra point. 13-10, Mukwonago a 3-point lead. Great drive. That was set up by the big pass play from Hatkowitz to Muhlenkamp. That set them up in the Goodwill power zone. A 5-play drive ending on the 6-yard touchdown run by Genrich, his second tonight. Get a look at our student section in Mukwonago, and that reminds you tonight also Durzana Menard is our Scholar Athlete Award sponsor this season. So coming up at halftime, we'll bring you those Scholar Athlete Awards. Kara has a chance to talk to Bob Menard from Durzana Menard, along with a few of our other sponsors. All of that coming up during our American Family Insurance halftime report.
So a close-up on the sidelines of Mukwonago special teams coach John Sterner. If you watch carefully as the Mukwonago team lines up to kick off, they're looking over to John to see if he's going to signal them to do an onside kick or to kick it deep. They spread 2 men down on the wide side of that field to make sure they got the outside contained, and then they'll do a scramble out of that big bunch to confuse the blocking assignments for Waukesha South for this return.
Carnegie, Hoagland, and Johnson, the 3 deep men here for Waukesha South. Morris will kick it away. It bounces over the shoulder and will roll into the end zone. Just barely made it into the end zone for the touchback. Oh, so close to hitting the left shoulder that time of Hoagland. Hopped over his shoulder and made it in the end zone. Touchback to the 20-yard line.
Well, now South will start off with a little bit of their back to the wall on the 20. They need to be able to drive that ball, get upfield, run some more clock. They're at 7 minutes. They'd love to make sure they don't give Mukwonago good field position again.
They'll go with that tight look. Hoagland a wing right, Johnson a wing left. And Hoagland Gets the handoff, gives it right back to Johnson on the counter. He stopped behind the line of scrimmage. Again, good pursuit by the Mukwonago defense. Evan Major not fooled on the counter.
Evan, 6'3", 230, moves extremely well, plays both track, runs track, throws the shot, plays basketball. Excellent athlete. He was an honorable mention last year.
Loss of a yard, 2nd and 11 at the 19. Schroeder and Carnegie coming to the near side. Carnegie in a slot. Hoagland lined up in a slot, far side. Now Hoagland in motion. Heck from the gun. Wants to swing it out to Johnson. Johnson in space, and he's going to be covered up. Nice job. Stop back at the 13-yard line. Once again, Evan Major along with Nick Tangway able to make the play. And this goes back to Monday's practice, Coach, that showdown drill when you get one-on-one with Anthony Johnson.
Right. I mean, Clay Iverson talks about breaking down, shattering your feet as you come up to make that tackle so you don't give way to the fake. And notice you've got 4 guys coming to the ball right away.
So loss back of 5 back to the 14-yard line. 3rd and 16 now for Waukesha South. Heck will throw. Has some time. Coming back near side. Carnegie over his fingertips and incomplete. Oh, he was there at the 35-yard line, just a hair overthrown on the coverage back there for the Indians, Dan Crawley. But that receiver, Carnegie, was open briefly. Would have been enough for a first down.
I just missed that connection. You got a single returner back here. It'll be interesting to see if Mukwonago is going to want to try to put pressure on the kicker, or if they're going to try to get the return and get set up with even better field position.
Now they'll move Zach Zaborowski inside the 50-yard line for this Sanchez punt. Good snap, gets this one away. A knuckling punt. Zaborowski will let it bounce. It angles to the near sideline. He'll pick it up. He'll circle back inside his 40. Dancing around at the 35, across the 40 now, out to the 42-yard line. Special teams, good coverage that time. Everybody stayed in their lanes, including Chris Schroeder, who got down there to make the hit. We'll take our mid-quarter break here. 5:27 to go, first half. 13-10, Mukwonago up 3. Our Badger Max Thursday Night Lights on My 24. Well, after scoring that go-ahead touchdown, Mukwonago gets a 3-and-out defensively, gets the football back at their own 43-yard line. Midway through our second quarter, there's that key play there that went through the hands of Carnegie. If he comes down with that, Waukesha South keeps possession.
That gets them a big first down. Now are they going to be able to shore up the defense? We're going back into that psycho formation where they're rolling around prior to the snap.
They'll give it to the fullback, Jones. Jones taking it up toward midfield. Gain of about 6. Out to the 49-yard line. Jones, his 3rd carry tonight. Liam Jones, a 5'11 senior. You mentioned, honorable mention, all Classic 8 a season ago.
Another one of those track athletes as well.
2nd and 3. Nice run to the hole. And a late penalty marker. I clearly saw a face smash there as Radowitz was brought down to the turf, but he called for a face mask here. Take a look at our replay. Should be pretty clear here. Right there. Schroeder got his hands up in the grill. Easy call for the line judge here on the near side.
Yeah, not something that's done intentionally. You always try to teach your defensive players to come up, club up through the ball, make sure that you keep that man under control, not let those fingers grasp out.
Jones, a big burst. The fullback breaks a tackle. 30, 20, to the 10, to the pylon. Touchdown, Mukwonago. Back judge late getting over, made the signal. Mukwonago on a power run by Liam Jones, the fullback. And Mukwonago jumps out 19-10.
He ground out last year. Jones did 736 yards, 7 touchdowns. You can see his speed. He's breaking away, getting caught, pushed, touched that ball right to the cone.
Can't teach it any better than that. Again, they will kick the extra point. Morris, the sophomore. Zach Zaborowski on the hold. Dennis Mahoney on the long snap. Zaborowski gets it down, and Morris boots it through. Mukwonago doubling up on Waukesha South here with 4:43 to go on a strong run by Liam Jones, the fullback. Once again, let's head downstairs to Kara.
Hey guys, I've got Gunnery Sergeant Glenn with the United States Marine Corps with me. Thank you so much for joining us. Now, what are the benefits of joining the Marine Corps?
Well, the benefits are kind of endless. I mean, we got, state-of-the-art job training, promotion advancement opportunities. Our educational benefits are really something else, second to none. You can start with the NROTC scholarship, which, gives kids right out of high school the ability to go to college and even have a career right after they're done. So, it's really whatever, the sky's the limit.
And where can folks go to find more information?
Well, they could contact their local area recruiter. We have 2 offices in the area. One is on 60th and National, and our other is located over on 60th and Layton. Otherwise, they can go to online, usmc.com, and they can put in their information, and we're usually pretty good about getting back to them quickly. So.
Well, thank you so much for joining us tonight and for all you guys do for our country.
Yeah, thank you.
And back to you.
Kara, thanks so much. 42-yard touchdown run by Liam Jones. Mukwonago, a 20-10 lead now over Waukesha South. Morris, a short pop-up kick. Waukesha South forced to fall on it at the 28-yard line.
It's one of those little pop-up kicks. Sometimes if the receiving team doesn't react quickly, that ball's lying on the ground, and suddenly you recover it as the kicking team turns the whole force of the game around.
For all of the info on the green and gold, including special guests, players, and more, watch Locker Room Tuesday nights at 6:30 on My Place for Sports, My 24. From the 29-yard line, 1st and 10, Waukesha South. Johnson, the single back, 3 receivers right side. Low snap, Heck able to pick it up, looks right, now comes back left and will throw it away. Ryan Lark, the tight end, the intended target here, but timing all messed up by the low snap.
Messed up, but Heck made an excellent decision as he looked out there, saw he didn't have him open, shot it out of bounds, so they didn't take the loss on the play.
2nd down and 10. Carnegie and Schroeder will line up here to the near side. Hoagland and Lark to the far side. Johnson is your single back in the backfield. Inside linebackers creeping up just a little bit here. Heck will send Hoagland in motion. Fake to Hoagland, the give to Johnson. Johnson trying to go up the middle, nothing there. Good stout defense that time put on by the Indians. Interior line, along with Zach Hintz, the linebacker, able to make the play.
Right away, Mukwonago calls that timeout. They'd love to force a punt, get that ball back, and have another chance to put a score up before the half.
I was going to say, this is that situation Dave Roosh was talking about this week, and that is getting and sustaining drives, running clock, keeping the ball out of the hands of that Mukwonago offense.
Yeah, initially, Waukesha South, the Black Shirts were doing an excellent job. They responded to Mukwonago's initial score, but the past couple drives, they've somehow found ways to kind of not be consistent and sustain them, and that's not working to their advantage.
Pat Williams, the senior vice president of the NBA's Orlando Magic, will join Mike McGivern on Faith in the Zone, Sundays at 8 a.m. and again at 8 p.m. to discuss his journey of faith. Faith in the Zone on Sports Radio 105.7 FM, The Fan, or check it out at faithinthezone.com. Johnson tonight, 13 carries, only 32 yards.
No, and that, like we said earlier, that they've got to find different ways to get Johnson that ball. Perhaps not try to run him just out of that backfield set when they're in the spread, when he's the single back, and then when they're in that double wing, that very tight double wing, even with the counters, obviously Mukwonago's keyed in on him, so he's not having success. So they maybe got to get him to the outside. They got to find some ways to run some swing passes, some screens.
Before we get this snap off, let's head downstairs to Mike McGivern.
Hey guys, listen to the offensive line coach from Mukwonago talking about having the Waukesha South on their heels, and the next time they get the ball, they want to drive it down the field and put an end to this thing, is what they're talking about. I think that's a little bit early, but they think they've got Waukesha South on their heels.
The draw play to Johnson goes nowhere, gets back to the original line of scrimmage. Mukwonago will burn their final timeout here to get possession of the football. Little sprint draw that time to Johnson.
Right, and you see the excellent pursuit by Mukwonago as they come across. You saw 4 guys in the immediate proximity of the ball.
Trevor Wilm has had himself a heck of a half, his 6th tackle tonight for Mukwonago. So Mukwonago out of timeouts, but will have 4:21 to go here in the quarter, leading by 10, getting the football back here.
Some ways I'm kind of surprised calling the timeouts with that amount of time on the clock. Once again, I think maybe they wanted to have a chance to have a little bit more time, not trying to run catch-up. They do love to run the ball and grind it out. So I'm sure Coach Iverson had that in mind. And Lee Purdy, his offensive coordinator, they've got the ground game chewing up some yards. They feed that ball to Jones, and he's really getting a great surge.
Classic 8, we talked about this meat grinder of a league. There's your overall records. Obviously, this weekend, the first action in conference play, but there you go. You had 5 teams, all 2-0. The rest of the league 1-1 going into play this weekend.
Yeah, Waukesha South gets done with this game. They get the privilege of going to play Catholic Memorial the following week, and Mukwonago is going to run into Muskego. Yeah, there's no time off in the Classic 8.
South has to take a timeout. They had a player late getting on special teams here, so the Black Shirts will pull a timeout here. Yeah, that league has just turned into an outstanding football league. We talked about it in our pregame, Terry. You had 4 teams tie for the conference title, each with 2 losses in conference play. That speaks for itself right there. And they get 5 teams into the playoffs, and Mukwonago, the team that snuck in. And Mukwonago's reward, they got to play Muskego and Arrowhead for the second time.
Right, because Mukwonago had knocked off Arrowhead, and then Arrowhead would avenge that loss in the playoffs as they advanced to the state finals.
And a look there momentarily of the youth football program out here in Mukwonago, the Braves. We touched on it a little bit. A huge practice. I got to say there had been about, 85, maybe close to 90 kids out there on Monday coming in for that practice. There they are now, the Mukwonago Braves.
Right, they just swarmed the field. It's like watching locusts come in to eat the crops.
They swarmed the camera there, too. Good call, Paul. Sanchez to punt. This will be a short spiraling kick. Bounces across midfield, will angle out of bounds near the 44-yard line. So Mukwonago got what they wanted. Good field position here using their timeouts with 4:12 remaining in the half. And a chance to extend that 10-point lead.
With over 4 minutes to go, they don't have to forego their running game, but we've seen now that Akiewicz has demonstrated he can throw the deep pass. They've got a couple other completions in there as well, so they've got a lot of weapons that they would like to make use of.
Here you see Clay Iverson in the middle there with the headset around his neck there. He is high energy all the time. Practice Monday, I never saw a coach as animated as Clay was in practice on Monday. They'll fire the slant route. It was tipped near the line of scrimmage. Looked like it might have been Aaron Bakke who got a hand on it there that time, the linebacker for Waukesha South.
So breaking a little bit of their tendencies. First down, they come out, wing the ball, trying to break it. Now, it'll be interesting to see, does Coach Purdy revert to his idea of let's run the ball on this one.
Muhlenkamp brings the play into the huddle here. He'll line up in a wide receiver spot here, the near hash. Hetkowitz will pitch it, this time to Radowitz. Radowitz up the right side, has some room, breaking tackles across midfield to the Waukesha South 49-yard line. Luke LeCaptain wrestling him down. That's 3 tackles tonight for LeCaptain, the junior. Dave Roosh, the head coach for Waukesha South.
And we're pretty sure even if they're short on this play, they'll go for it. Clay gambled last week against Oak Creek, went out for it on 4th down on his own 25 at one point. He has confidence in his kids.
3rd and short. Radowitz again gets the call, but the Waukesha South defense there at the line of scrimmage to stand him up. So 4th and a long one here for Mukwonago. They will go for it here on 4th down. Again, a good stout defense up the middle. Chow, Rasmussen, and gang there. All there to make the stop. I think we're at one of those moments here late in this first half.
Headed towards that 3-minute mark.
4th and 1. Radowitz with the first down and more down to the 41-yard line. 5-yard run for the Wisconsin Lutheran College first down. Check that Jones, the ball carrier. Liam Jones, the fullback. He's had a touchdown run already tonight.
Yeah, you can see that weight advantage for the Mukwonago offensive line taking its toll. Waukesha South a little bit undersized up front.
First down at the South 41-yard line. Play fake. Atkowitz wants to set up the screen, swings it out, completes the pass. Radowitz breaking tackles inside the 25, inside the 20, down to the 19-yard line. Colin Radowitz, the senior, with the reception. Caleb Dorothy takes him down.
On the year, Radowitz has rushed for over 150.
Piece on what needed to be done in the second half.
You know, Coach Roosh loves seeing that from his seniors. He mentioned that in their preseason they go out to Camp Whitman Mason, and typically the tradition had been for the other members of the team to form a tunnel and the seniors run out. This year the seniors came to him and said, we want the coaches to form the tunnel, we want the entire team to run out. They're looking at it as not just the seniors team, it's all of the players' team. And you know, Coach Roosh is indeed very proud of the spirit that these guys have.
I understand we had some more satellite issues. We apologize for our technical difficulties. We are working on it, both here on site and back at our My24 studios. Just joining us, an 8-play drive that was capped off by the Ben Morris 34-yard field goal. We'll take a look at it here. It's 4th down, and it was a nice kick here by Morris. Able to hook that one just inside the left upright. Had plenty of distance, and so it's a 23-10 two-touchdown lead here for Mukwonago late in our first half. Carnegie will take the kick. He'll return it out short of the 39-yard line. So Waukesha South with 1:22, 2 timeouts. Let's see what Dave Roosh and nephew Aaron Roosh, the offensive coordinator, cook up here late in this first half.
Yeah, we'll see if they'll try to spot Ryan Lark, who's Heck's favorite target. But I wonder if they wouldn't look to maybe try to see, could they swing Anthony Johnson up the sideline and maybe a wheel pattern, find a different way to get a man open.
Nolan Heck sends Halbach in motion. He'll throw it back far side, and sure shooting here, Coach. You went right to Lark, and that's where they went with that pass play.
If you've got a connection, some chemistry with a player, you like to go to him, and he was open. It was just they missed the connection.
It's a couple of times Heck has had open receivers and just overled them. Remember the play to Carnegie here on the near sideline on that 3rd and long prior to the Mukwonago touchdown drive. 2nd and 10 from their own 39. Carnegie in motion far side. Heck will swing it out, and he'll just throw it into the ground in front of Johnson. Now that was a forward pass. It wasn't going to be much anyways, as the Mukwonago Indian defense in full pursuit that time. There were no less than 4 defenders out there waiting for Johnson to make that reception.
Yeah, I think he saw how well Johnson was covered, made that decision. Now the only bad thing here, you keep throwing these interceptions, even though Mukwonago has burned their timeouts, you may get that ball back to them and they'll have yet another chance to score.
Johnson the single back. They'll bunch 3 receivers here to the near side. Lark the single receiver far side. Heck with some time. Now cuts it upfield with some running room. Heck trying to stay inbounds. Gets it across the 45-yard line. Let's see where they mark him out here. Just shy of the 45, will be short of the first down, but getting out of bounds, stopped the clock with 68 seconds to go.
Right now, the offensive coordinator, Lee Purdy, is trying to, in his mind, dial up what can be an effective play to get that ball up the field. We'd see if they'd want to make good use of the speed of Patrick Mullenkamp, see if they can get him shook loose, get another score.
4th and 5. Ball at the Waukesha South 44-yard line. Sanchez in to punt. It's Zach Zabrowski. Zabrowski, the punt returner, will let that one bounce. It will roll inside the 5 and roll dead near the 8-yard line. Like one of your wedge shots, Coach.
I don't even get it anywhere near the hole. There's no danger of that. But an excellent kick that time by Antonio Sanchez. And my picture hangs on Mof Golf Course's wall. If I show up, they just close the door and say we're done for the day.
Mark it dead at the 7-yard line. So Mukwonago out of timeouts here in this first half. We'll have it at their own 7-yard line with 58 seconds to go. South still has 2 timeouts remaining. Offense huddle up around Lee Purdy, the offensive coordinator. You get a look at the Mukwonago students in attendance here tonight. And school starting this week. Our first game with school in session. Handoff goes up the middle. Jones, the fullback, with the carry. Gives them some room now out to the 13-yard line, gain of about 6. I see.
They're going to try to get another play run off here.
Yeah. One more play here for Hotkowitz. Facing a 2nd and 5. Again, they'll give it up the middle. This time it is Radowitz, Colin Radowitz, and that should run out our clock here for our first half.
As the teams head into the locker room, I'm sure what Coach Iverson is going to be mentioning is we went up on these guys. Let's keep putting on the pressure. Once again, Coach Rush is going to call upon that tough spirit that they displayed last week, and they're going to have to try to fight their way back into the game.
A couple of touchdowns by Liam Jones, a field goal by Ben Morris here in this second quarter, and it's a 23-10 halftime lead for the Mukwonago Indians here at Hensler Field in Mukwonago. 23-10, Indians on top of the Black Shirts. Stay tuned. We have an American Family Insurance halftime report coming your way next. Look out, Liam Jones coming right at you. 23-10, Mukwonago. Welcome back to the American Family Insurance halftime report here on the Badger Max Thursday Night Lights with Terry Kelly, John Weiser, along with Mike McGivern and Kara with you. We're in Mukwonago tonight at the Mukwonago Indians at Hensler Field, leading the Waukesha South Black Shirts 23-10 here at the half. Well, tonight we'd like to highlight 2 special student athletes. The law offices of Durzan and Menard and My 24 are proud to present our Student Athlete of the Week nominees. From Waukesha South, this week's Durzan and Menard Scholar Athlete nominee is Emily Rhodes. Emily competes in cross country and track and carries a 3.8 GPA. She's a member of the National Honor Society, was selected Badger Girls State Delegate, a varsity letter winner in cross country, and she is a Sunday school leader at Elmbrook Church. From Mukwonago High School, our Durzan and Menard Scholar Athlete nominee is Shelby Perkett. She competes in gymnastics and carries a 3.556 GPA. Shelby and the Mukwonago gymnastics team finished 3rd in state last year. She volunteers at the River Glen Christian Church and participated in Giving for Life through the Blood Center of Wisconsin. Tonight's student athlete nominees will be in the running to receive a scholarship thanks to the great folks at the law offices of Durzan and Menard at the end of the season. 23-10, Waukesha South trailing Mukwonago here at the newly rededicated, newly turfed Hensler Field?
Well, named after one of the all-time great coaches, high school football in the state, Keith Hensler. Did a marvelous job here at Mukwonago. Clay Iverson certainly is helping to continue that tradition. He's got a wonderful coaching staff that he's assembled. A number of former head coaches are with him. And there's a real spirit in Mukwonago. They love their football.
Welcome back to our American Family Insurance Halftime Report here from Mukwonago tonight. Again, we apologize having a little bit of satellite difficulties tonight. We're trying to fight through that, so we appreciate your patience back in the Milwaukee area. 23-10, Mukwonago on top of Waukesha South here at the half. Let's head down to the sidelines and Kara with a very special guest.
Thank you very much, guys. I've got our title sponsor, Kevin with Badger Max. Thank you so much for being here tonight. Now, can you tell us a little bit about the story behind Badger Max?
A little bit, Kara, behind Badger Max is there's some fascinating things behind it. Besides the fact that we revenue share with the University of Wisconsin, so a portion of what we sell goes back to student athletes. We're also a lower cal hydration solution for athletes, and we're real ingredients, and natural sugar also.
And why is it important for Badger Max to support youth sports?
Well, I think it's important to get the right remedy for student athletes at youth ages in the K-12 area for performance reasons in terms of having the right hydration, having a healthier option while they're performing. I think that Badger Max ties into the K-12 really, really well.
And what is your experience with youth sports?
Youth sports, well, Kara, I've coached baseball and basketball at all different ages for almost 20 years now, and learning about how kids need to perform at their highest level. And tying that into Badger Max is really important to me. So it means a lot. I do have kids that also play, so the importance of that is close to my heart.
So you guys have totally come full circle. If folks want to find out any more information or what you guys are doing in the community, are you guys on social media?
Yeah, we have a Facebook page. We're on Twitter. We're on Instagram. So go like us on those. Hashtag Drink It to the Max, and we can get your local schools on social media and things like that for some cool pics.
Well, thank you so much for joining us all season long, and back to you guys.
Kara and Kevin, thank you. We thank you, fine folks at Badger Max, and our trophy that we'll be handing out tonight. Did you try and pick that thing up? My goodness.
I turned that over to Mike McGivern. He's been doing a lot of squats lately and working on that.
65 pounds is that trophy, trying to lift that up. I can barely throw a 15-pound bowling ball. I can't even touch that.
Oh.
So, my goodness, Badger Max, our title sponsor this season of Thursday Night Lights here on My 24. Beautiful night. Let's head back down to the sideline, Kara, for another interview.
Thanks again, guys. I've got Staff Sergeant Nicole Lewis with the United States Army. Now, why did you join the Army?
Well, I was working 2 jobs. I wasn't going anywhere, and I needed something different with my life, so I decided to join the Army and go see what everything was about in the rest of the world.
And what are the benefits to joining the Army?
The benefits, we have many benefits. We get free medical, free dental insurance, we get college benefits. It's amazing.
What has your personal experience been like in the Army?
My experience has been very vast. I've been able to go to many different military schools. I've been able to obtain an associate's degree, travel the world. I've been to 12 different countries. I've been deployed 3 times and met the greatest of friends.
Well, it sounds like it's been quite a rewarding experience for you, and we thank you so much for your service and all that the Army does for us.
You're welcome. Thank you.
And back to you guys.
Staff Sergeant Nicole Lewis, thank you so much for your service to our country. That leads us into our halftime highlights, brought to you by United States Army. Army Strong. And early on, Mukwonago getting the early touchdown score on the Gingrich run from 16 yards out. Waukesha South able to come back and answer. Beautiful pass and reception there to keep the drive alive, and it was the quarterback Heck with the sneak, made it a 7-6 ball game. And a Sanchez 39-yard field goal made it 10-6, but it was all Mukwonago after this.
I know, all of a sudden Tommy Hedkowitz hit the long pass, kind of broke their norm for how they like to run so much, and that helped set them up.
Eulenkamp with a nice reception, and Genrich able to run it in from for the touchdown, and then it was the big fullback, Liam Jones.
Broke right up the middle, got that nice surge from his offensive line, tucked it in at the corner of the end zone.
Ben Morris, the sophomore, pressed into kicking duties. Not too shabby.
No, he's had a nice first half, and I think as his confidence grows and they know that they can rest their regular kicker, Alec Benzinger, that's a real plus for the Mukwonago Indians.
34-yard field goal. That's your deficit right there. 23-10. Mukwonago on top of Waukesha South. Let's visit with Mike McGivern down on the sideline.
Hey guys, before the game, I talked to Doug Laurent, who's the referee for tonight's game. And he said, hey, if you get a chance, could you talk a little bit about our shortage for younger referees? I knew he wasn't talking to me about becoming a ref, but he said, look, if there are younger guys watching the telecast, have some interest in getting involved in being a referee here in high school football, go to the WIAA website. Just Google WIAA information for that. It's interesting, too, because I talk to basketball officials a lot, and they're looking for younger guys, too. He said, look, we're not getting any younger. We need some young blood to come out and be referees. So if you've got that in you, check out the WIAA website, WIAA.org.
Mike, thank you so much. That's a critical need across the state right now. Crews are retiring, and there aren't any of the young guys to step up and replace them.
You know, and so often as fans, coaches, we give referees a certain amount of grief. These games don't exist without what they do, and when you do check the replays, probably over 95% of the time they've made the right call. So we need to get some folks out so that high school sports can continue to be the wonderful opportunity for our students.
23-10, Mukwonago on top of Waukesha South here at the half. Some of the numbers here from this first half.
Well, the numbers kind of reflect what the score is. 215 total yards for Mukwonago, 92 for Waukesha South, 148 rushing for Mukwonago, almost 70 for Waukesha South, but then Mukwonago hits 67 yards in passing. That surpasses their two-game total. Waukesha South only with 23 yards passing, whereas last week Nolan Heck was 25 for 41, had himself quite the evening and gained 250 yards.
Last week, South mounted a 17-point comeback in the third quarter. What's on the mind of Coach Roos right now with that Waukesha South locker room?
I'm sure he's able to tell his guys, we've got a history of having done this. And so, okay, let's remember his statement, why not us? Okay, we'll get back in the game. Meanwhile, Clay Iverson's talking to his guys, okay, we've got the upper hand. We've gotten a better start than we have in our first two ball games. Let's keep it rolling.
A great Classic 8 matchup tonight from Mukwonago. The Indians on top of the Black Shirts, 23-10. We'll pause and take a break. Back with second half action after this on My 24. The American Family Insurance halftime report rolls on here from Mukwonago. 23-10 advantage for the homestanding Indians in the Classic 8 conference opener over Waukesha South. One more interview tonight. Let's head back downstairs to Kara with a very special guest.
Hey, thanks again, guys. I've got Katie Kuhn with United Way here with me. Now, what brings you guys out here tonight?
We are so excited to be here at this football game. This is our first chance to do something like this, and we're here with United Way of Greater Milwaukee and Waukesha County promoting volunteerism. Every fall is what we call our Season of Caring, where we send hundreds of corporate groups, student groups, families, and individuals out into the community to do good in a variety of ways. So we're here tonight trying to get families and students involved, giving back to the community and getting out there doing good.
And you guys have some pretty exciting things happening in Waukesha?
Yes, so just this year, United Way of Greater Milwaukee and United Way in Waukesha County merged to form a great big new organization. We just kicked off our community campaign with the goal of raising $60 million to give back to the community. So we are so excited to be in Waukesha, to be coming to events like this high school football game and doing a lot of great volunteerism with the many agencies that we support here in Waukesha County.
And how did you get your start with United Way?
So I started in 2013 as a loan executive, which is our kind of temporary program for temporary employees to come during our community campaign, and then they go out into different workplaces to raise money for the community. It's a great way to get started with United Way, and I just fell in love with it and fell in love with the volunteerism side and the marketing side, so I felt very fortunate to be able to stay on full time.
Well, we appreciate all that you do and all that United Way does, and you guys are invited back anytime.
Oh, we'd love to come back. Thank you so so much.
And back to you guys upstairs.
Kara and Katie, thank you so much. Live United. That should be the spirit here through the rest of this football season. Well, tonight's Badger Mac's secret word is refreshing. As in, John and Terry are a refreshing announcing team.
Well, we got refreshed by Badger Max before the game. Excellent product, and we really appreciate their support of Thursday Night Lights.
Enter now at my24milwaukee.com. The word is refreshing to win a Badgers football VIP package from Badger Max and My24. You know, Gina tells me this all the time. What a refreshing site you are.
I don't hear that all the time.
You don't? Well, you got to come over to my house then. Maybe she'd start saying that with you, Terry.
No, but my wife, Peg Kelly, has been a tremendous help with these broadcasts, helping to assemble a lot of the material for us, and has done an outstanding job, and we're very appreciative of all that she's done.
Well, this season, First Downs are sponsored by Wisconsin Lutheran College, located in Milwaukee. They're a comprehensive Christian college offering 37 undergraduate majors, an accelerated degree completion program for adult learners, and graduate degree options. Learn more at WLC.edu. Clay Iverson getting his team some final instructions before taking the field to begin this second half. Dave Roosh, same thing over there on the far sideline with Waukesha South.
It's interesting, if you watch Clay in action, you can see him just yell like mad at his whole defense or maybe somebody in particular, but there's always a little something he does as he walks away. Make sure he pats that kid on the shoulder, pats him in the hand. He might come back 15 seconds later. You know, he always wants to end with that positive thought. He's going to make the correction, but he's going to make sure his players understand the need to perform well.
Sanchez tees it up to our left. Mukwonago to receive, going right to left here to start this second half. There's head coach Dave Rush for Waukesha South. Sanchez, a driving kick through the hands of Radowitz and out of bounds, or into the end zone, I should say, for the touchback. A power kick that time by Sanchez for the touchback will give Mukwonago the ball 1st and 10 at their own 20.
Yeah, if the ball carries in by its own momentum, it's a touchback. If, unfortunately, you've controlled the ball and now it rolls in, now you've got to bring that puppy back out.
Again, a reminder that Badger Max Thursday Night Lights is available streaming live online. Log on to my24milwaukee.com. Click on the Thursday Night Lights link. You can also find complete game videos and photos from this season's games. 1st and 10 from their own 20 to start the second half, up 13. And the give is to the fullback, Jones. Liam Jones, that big touchdown run 42 yards earlier tonight. Able to get a gain of 5 on the play, 2nd down and 5. Dominic, I should say, who is that? Dominic Mahalos there to make the stop defensively for the Waukesha South Black Shirts. Backup linebacker. And they'll fake it this time. Big hole up the middle. As running with it that time is Radowitz. They'll take it all the way across the 45 out to the 46-yard line. Gain of 21 and a 1st down at Wisconsin Lutheran College. 1st down for Mukwonago.
Yeah, that second back coming up through the hole built up a heck of a steam. Watch him come right up there. A little cross-buck action.
Finally wrestled down. Gabe Rasmussen able to chase him down from behind along with Schneider. Penalty markers down. A false start penalty here on Mukwonago.
One of the things we've been able to see tonight is Mukwonago has not been plagued with some of those problems on the snap as well as the ball handling in the backfield. Maybe it's due to Tanner Beland being back at center,
snap,
working with Tommy. You mentioned earlier that
5-yard penalty.
Coach Purdy was spending a lot of time with his quarterbacks, working on that exchange, working on the ball handling in the backfield, and it's paying dividends tonight.
Listening to Coach Purdy coach up that part of the offense on Monday at the practice, it was basically just saying, hey, for Edwitz, it was just he was too stiff with the ball. It was almost like too mechanical, faking the handoffs and turning and giving the inside handoff to the second back and just trying to loosen it up a little bit, bring that ball up and in and then out to the back on the carry. 1st and 15 for Mukwonago. On the carry that time was Genrich. Zach Genrich on the carry. Aaron Bakke with the tackle, his second stop tonight.
They got back into the true wishbone that time, tried to run a little power off tackle. Two backs leading up into the hole. And unfortunately for Mukwonago, but fortunately for Waukesha South, they were able to put a stop to that right away.
Gain of a yard, 2nd and 14. Genrich in motion. They'll give it to Radowitz. Radowitz up the middle, out toward midfield. Stop just shy of the midfield stripe to the 49-yard line. Gain of about 10 on the play that time for Radowitz.
Once again, that's a little of that cross-back action. You fake it to the back going to the left, hand it to the back going to the right. You get the initial read for the linebackers from South. They start flowing, and then, bam, they've cut it back the other way.
Officially a gain of 8. 3rd down and long now for Mukwonago. Early 3rd quarter. Genrich in motion. He'll get the toss sweep near side. And he'll be stopped short of the first down. Schroeder able to get there and make the play defensively for the Black Shirts. Nice job by the Waukesha South defense. Chris Schroeder, the senior, the captain on that defense. That's 4 tackles tonight for Schroeder.
4th and a long, too. It'll be interesting to see if Clay, along with Coach Purdy, make the decision to go for it. And it looks like that's what's going to happen.
4th and about 2 here for Mukwonago. They need the 45-yard line. They'll hand it off. Jones should have enough for the first down. The fullback just diving forward across the 45 for the Wisconsin Lutheran College. First down for the Indians.
Jones is one of those guys. He looks bigger. I mean, he's a good-sized player at 5'11", 205. He looks even a little taller. Extremely hard runner. Grinds it out.
From the South 44, Radowitz in motion. Hotkowitz rolling out to his right, wants to set up the screen, being chased, has to throw that one away. Good pursuit that time on the play. It was Nick Lindsay, the junior defensive lineman, trying to track down the quarterback Hotkowitz that time from behind the line of scrimmage. Jones tonight now 7 carries for 75 yards and that big touchdown run.
And you think about a little bit of the mismatch that happens. Nick Lindsay is as a defensive lineman. He's only 5'6", 178 pounds. He's using his speed to try to negate the strength and size of the Mukwonago line.
Penalty flag thrown by the referee here. I think we may have too many men on the field here. Let's see. 12 men, I believe, in the huddle. Let's see what the call is by referee Doug Laurent.
Intentional grounding on the quarterback. No receiver in the area. It's also a loss of down. We have a 2nd down.
Oh my goodness, a late grounding call over on that far sideline, and the benefit of a break here. Waukesha South, I think, able to convince the officials over on that far sideline about no eligible receiver in the area when Hotkowitz was going out of bounds. This time it's Genrich. Genrich breaking a tackle across midfield down to the 47-yard line. Wrestled down on the play that time by Luke LeCaptain. Has had a fine ball game tonight. 6 tackles tonight for LeCaptain.
Once again, that was that so-called wax action in the backfield. You think of an X, and that's what they're doing with their 2 backs. The run runs, one back goes that time right, the other one X's back to the left. Got a good surge, but critical 3rd down here for Waukesha South. They need to get the ball, move upfield themselves.
Third and long here for Mukwonago. Hotkowitz rolling left, wants to throw. Dumps it near sideline. It is caught out of bounds. Making the catch was Radowitz, but could not keep his feet in bounds. Good coverage on the play. Justin Hallbach, we mentioned him in the pregame tonight, an outstanding linebacker, making another good play there.
Also at T.J. Garrity from that defensive end position, getting upfield, getting into the face. Good, excellent call by the official. You see that foot out of bounds. But TJ is 6'5", 230-pound junior who's getting some looks already. A young man with that size. Father had played at Michigan.
Waukesha South will take the timeout. Well, the receiver on that last play, maybe if he had white shoes, maybe would have got the benefit of the call there. Those gold shoes just standing out on that white sideline.
Made it a little easier for the official.
So Waukesha South takes their first timeout here on defense. It'll be 4th and about 14 here for Mukwonago, just across midfield. Let's head back downstairs. Mike McGivern, what do you got?
Hey, boys, Andy Trudell, athletic director here at Mukwonago. Andy, thanks for having us.
Yeah, no problem. Thanks for being here.
Man, this field is unbelievable. Congratulations, you and the community. It looks great.
Thank you. Yeah, we got a fantastic community that came forward, led by FOMA, Friends of Mukwonago Athletics, that helped raise the money for this project, and we can't be more excited.
Hey, I got to tell you, the girl that sang the national anthem, she was unbelievable.
Yeah, Gwen Gannon, she's the real deal. We got really talented kids here in Mukwonago. We're certainly proud of her tonight.
That's awesome. Andy, it's a Mukwonago guy, came home. He's the AD. Been the AD for a while, loves Mukwonago. Thanks a lot.
Yeah, thank you. Appreciate it.
You bet. Back to you, boys.
Thank you, Mike. And a short punt of only 14 yards, rolling dead at the 35-yard line. So Waukesha South coming away with very good field position here, getting the stop they needed here defensively, aided by a couple of penalties.
Right, and this is exactly what Dave Rush knew his team needed. They got that stop. Now they've got the ball back. Question now, what do they do with it?
They'll open up in a two-wing formation here. Johnson in the left wing, Hoagland on the right wing, and they'll go with that inside counter back to Johnson. Johnson spinning his way forward out across the 40 to the 41-yard line, gain of 6.
Nice cut by Mr. Johnson there. He saw that it was stuffed up to the outside, planted his outside foot, turned it upfield, got a nice gain about 6 yards.
Trevor Wilm with the tackle, his 7th tonight defensively for Mukwonago. We'll look at that inside handoff. Hoagland gets the call this time. Coming across the left side, penalty marker flies. We'll get a couple out of the play. It's maybe coming back for a holding call here. Check that, they picked up the marker. It might have been just a towel there. Saw something flying in that backfield.
Waukesha South obviously needs to convert on this. They can't afford to just turn the ball right back to Mukwonago.
3rd and 2. Johnson up the middle, going to be stopped just across the 45-yard line. Should have enough for a Wisconsin Lutheran College first down. Anthony Johnson, 5'8", 180, a senior. First team all-conference a year ago.
Yeah, Anthony happens to also play basketball, runs track, got a nice surge that time. He's not afraid. Some speedsters want to only go to the outside. He'll take it up inside.
1st and 10. Double wing look again inside to Hoagland off the feed from Johnson. Hoagland across midfield. Out to the 48 of Mukwonago. Nice burst there for a gain of 6 by Hoagland. Ethan Hoagland, 5'8", 170, a senior. Zach Seward able to make the stop, the junior free safety.
Now this is what we saw a little bit from Waukesha South in the first half when they decided to start, answering the call from Mukwonago, driving that ball upfield.
Quickly to the line of scrimmage. Johnson will get the toss. Has a convoy in front of him. Johnson, a burst of speed inside the 40, 30, 25, 20, 15, 10, 5 to the pylon, out of bounds, just short of the goal line. 47-yard run by Johnson. Could not keep his balance to the pylon, but it'll be 1st and goal in the power zone for Waukesha South.
His blockers got the corner that time. A couple of linemen pulled, got upfield, got the outside. Up to this point, Mukwonago had been doing an excellent job containing Johnson, but now he broke loose. You can see where his speed comes to play.
Again, the great folks at Goodwill sponsor this season of the Power Zone when teams drive inside the opponent's 20-yard line. They have entered the Power Zone, brought to you by Goodwill and the Power of Work.
Actually, Zach Zaborowski coming over, getting that little nudge on him, helped the Mukwonago get the final push out of bounds.
Power I. They'll toss it back to Johnson. Men in the backfield for a loss. Great pursuit that time, led by Alec Benzinger, the defensive end. First man in there for Mukwonago.
See a little bobble and trip by the quarterback, Heck, that threw the timing off, allowed Mukwonago to flow well to the ball.
So it'll be a loss of 6, and Heck is down, I believe. Where's that Anthony Johnson? That's Johnson. Slow to get up. We saw him out here during halftime, was working. I don't know if he was beginning to cramp up a little bit there at the break or not. We'll take our break here as they have an injury timeout here for Anthony Johnson. 4:54 to go here in our third quarter. 23-10 Mukwonago, our Badger Max Thursday Night Lights on My 24. .454 to go here, third quarter. Mukwonago with a 13-point lead. So Waukesha South facing a 2nd and goal from the 7-yard line. Anthony Johnson, the injured player, walked off under his own power during that break to the far sideline. He'll be forced to sit out at least one play here.
Yeah, they got Tyler Carnegie in at the one wingback position.
He's lined up on the left side wing. This time they'll work it to the outside. Nothing doing. Another loss back to the 10. The Mukwonago defense ready that time for Hoagland. This time it was Evan Major, the right defensive end, able to step in and make the play.
Excellent play. First of all, he stayed home. He defended his gap, waited for the ball carrier to come to him, fought off the block. Excellent tackle.
So what was 1st and goal from the 1 has turned into 3rd and goal from the 11.
Johnson back into the ball game right now.
Nolan Heck will work from the gun. Johnson the single back. Heck with time. Comes back right side looking for Hoagland, through his hands, incomplete. He was well covered, however, on that play. Nice job back there. Zach Seward again, the lead defender back there on Hoagland.
Yeah, trailing by 13. I think they're going to try to get the field goal, narrow it down to a touchdown. Antonio Sanchez has been a very good kicker for him. This, of course, is a critical kick at this point. You don't want to come away having gotten the ball down here and not get a score.
They'll spot the tee at the 19-yard line, so this will be a 29-yard attempt for Sanchez. He's made one from 39 tonight. High snap, ball is down, kick is blocked. It is blocked by Mukwonago, and they come away without any points. What a great defensive stand from Mukwonago. I believe that might have been Zach Zaborowski.
I'm pretty sure he came in off the corner, got his hand on the ball, deflected it. Big boost for that Mukwonago defense.
Take one more look here. The high snap set off the timing and blocked right up the middle. And falling on it that time was John Ryback. And that's where Mukwonago will take over. So a great defensive stand. Turning away Waukesha South, facing 1st and goal from the 1. Able to block the field goal. And now get the ball back. Again, running around the right side, Radowitz. Radowitz with a big hole. Out across the 15, just short of the 17-yard line. Run of 9 that time for Colin Radowitz, the senior.
Yeah, they keep going with that same play, to the right or to the left, and they're getting a real good surge out of.
So we'll keep Hotkowitz inside the Waukesha South 45 down to the 44-yard line, and yet another Wisconsin Lutheran College first down, and now Mukwonago starting to exert its force, grinding down that Waukesha South defense.
I was wondering when they were going to start using the quarterback as part of that option. They're getting such a good surge out of the fullback on that first carry. Now Tommy can pull that ball out, look for the pitchman. They can start running their wingbacks in motion to get an extra pitchman. this really will start to open up their offense as they gain confidence.
Radowitz in motion now. Hotkowitz might have been a busted play there. He'll keep it himself. He'll take it inside the 35 down to the 34-yard line, very close to a first down. And again, we want to apologize. We had a little bit of a signal trouble once again. And, we are working to correct those problems, so we appreciate your patience. Those of you at home, under a minute to go here in this third quarter. Mukwonago with a 13-point lead.
Yeah, Hotkowitz has had to wait his turn. They've had some excellent quarterbacks. Here he is, a senior, his turn to shine.
Radowitz breaks the tackle. Radowitz still on his feet, moving the pile out to the 21-yard line. Nice run by Radowitz. Gain of 11 and another Wisconsin Lutheran College first down. Mahalos making the stop for Waukesha South. Colin Radowitz, what a nice second half he's turning in here.
And Waukesha South had Luke Captain just got dinged up a little bit, had a run to the sidelines, so that they can't afford to lose one of their better defenders.
This time it's Sazowskis with the carry. We'll take it down near the 15-yard line, and that will end our third quarter. Mukwonago, after turning back Waukesha South on a 1st and goal at the 1-yard line, getting the ball back on the blocked field goal with a chance to work the power zone when we start the fourth quarter. 23-10. Mukwonago on top of Waukesha South. Our Badger Max Thursday Night Lights on My 24. Fourth quarter set to begin here on our Badger Max Thursday Night Lights with Terry Kelly, Mike McGivern, and Kara. John Weiser with you in Mukwonago tonight. Indians knocking on the door here after getting a great defensive stop. Start this fourth quarter on the ground. Kowitz with the carry that time. Skylar Soderman making the stop. We're inside the power zone. Brought to you by Goodwill, the power of work. This whole game turning on that 1st and goal at the 1. Johnson, that 47-yard run, knocked off balance, and Waukesha South unable to punch it in. Blocked field goal. Hotkowitz now on the option, will keep. Tripped up short of the 15-yard line. Good chase that time by Justin Hallbach. Hallbach, the senior, 8 tackles tonight for Justin Hallbach.
Yeah, he's had a very solid game for Waukesha. Critical fourth down. Waukesha South has to see if they can return the favor and stop them from getting another score here.
4th and 1. Ball at the 12-yard line. Need to just get inside the 11-yard line for the first down. Let's see if they go with Jones. They do. Liam Jones, first down and more. Inside the 10-yard line, short of the 8. 4-yard plow that time by Liam Jones, the senior. Again, we want to remind you, Badger Max Thursday Night Lights is available streaming live online. Log on to my24milwaukee.com and click on the Thursday Night Lights link. You can also find complete game videos and photos from this season's games right on my24milwaukee.com. Saw the replay there. 1st and goal. Again, they'll try to go up the middle. Jones again gets the call down to the 1-yard line. Liam Jones quietly had a successful night tonight for Mukwonago.
Now that offensive line is much like a snowplow as it's trying to penetrate. And Coach Purdy, excellent offensive line coach, worked for years up at River Falls. I know he was a very welcome addition to the Mukwonago staff.
They'll spot it just inside the 2-yard line. 2nd and goal for the Indians. Wishbone look here. Sazowskis in motion. They'll toss it back the other way. Radowitz, an easy scamper into the end zone for 6 for Colin Radowitz.
Yeah, they got the distraction of the guy running in motion to the right. Quick pitch, take it into the left, and there's the score.
And if you're Waukesha South, a big downer there as you give it up defensively, could not punch it in. Mukwonago comes all the way back And punches it in for 6 the other way. Radowitz capping off that drive.
Yeah, there was no way Justin Hallback was going to be able to get there to the outside. Excellent play call.
Sophomore Ben Morris to tack on the extra point. Dennis Mahoney on the snap. Zaborowski will hold. Good snap ball down. Morris threw the ball. It is to the uprights and good. 30-10 Mukwonago. A 15-play, 6.5-minute drive following the blocked field goal.
Pretty sure when they start to watch game film, the statement will be made, you're doing Mukwonago football. They love to run the ball. That's what they just did.
Yeah, the turning point of the game, Anthony Johnson, that 47-yard run, knocked ever so slightly off balance by Zaborowski on that scamper, just inside the 5-yard line. Couldn't contain his balance at the goal line, and facing 1st and goal from the 1, lost 6 on the play. Johnson got injured on that play. They were forced to run one play without him, lost even more yardage, facing 3rd and goal then from your 12-yard line, and they weren't able to punch it in, and the blocked field goal capping that off.
Little different interpretation perhaps of that statement, a game of inches. About 3 inches away from getting into the end zone. Doesn't happen. We saw what the result happened to be.
Dave Roosh, head coach at Waukesha South. So take a look at the scoring drive. 15 plays. 6.5 minutes. We know it was not a field goal. We know it was a touchdown. We know that much. It was Carnegie breaking some tackles. Carnegie is gone. Carnegie will take the kickoff back for the score. Answering that right away, Tyler Carnegie, the senior, returns the kickoff all the way to the house. Waukesha South not out of this one yet.
You know, you take a look at Tyler, excellent student, one of the captains, a senior, and that's what you want from your seniors. You need to respond when you're up against the wall.
83 yards for Carnegie. Sanchez for the point after. And that kick is through. 30-17. Now there's some heads up on that sideline on that far side, on the west side of Hensler Field.
You know, once again, we've seen that Waukesha South, if nothing else, is resilient. They continue to fight hard. I'm sure Coach Iverson said, boy, we seem to just have this game in control. Maybe going to get a chance to put some of the younger kids in, have them get some experience before they head on to the next challenge that is the Big Classic 8. But all of a sudden that happens, puts a little different spin on how you're going to proceed.
And for Dave Rush, how about your captain, Tyler Carnegie, coming up big there? I mean, he just followed his blockers, trusted his special teams. They opened up a seam on that far hash, and he took it all the way in, 83 yards for the score. You know, all season long, Mike and Kara have had the opportunity to talk with sponsors, coaches, and other guests down on the sidelines, letting you know about the great things going on in their schools and the communities we visit, such as Mukwonago. Our sideline reports being brought to you by Menards. Save big money at Menards. Sanchez has kept the ball low and driving. This time he'll get this one up in the air. It will take a high bounce. It'll be picked up by Connor Radowitz. Radowitz spins across the 20, and he is dropped immediately there. Justin Hallbach on special teams. What a night tonight, approaching double digits in tackles, both defensively and on special teams.
That was one of the players that Coach Roosh wanted to single out before the game as being a key to their defense, and he certainly has delivered as promised.
Now let's see what the defense here for Waukesha South can do. See if they can find some new life here.
Down by 2 touchdowns. You come back into the game, if you get a quick stop, get a score here, make for a real thrilling finish.
Tommy Hodkowitz in under center. Radowitz in motion. 2 men in motion that time. Busted play here. Hodkowitz will keep it. He'll take it out across the 41. Fumble on the play. Ball is out. Waukesha South recovers. Waukesha South recovers. We do have a penalty marker back at the 15-yard line. There were 2 men in motion at the same time. Now, is that not a dead ball foul, or did they allow that play to continue?
I'm kind of surprised. That should have been a dead ball foul. That should have been whistled at the moment those 2 guys both started. Strangely, here's a case where you as a coach want your team to be penalized so that you don't turn the ball over.
First down, Waukesha.
And they will count the play, so Hodkowitz fumbling the ball. It was both Gingrich and Radowitz both in motion that time. And then as Hodkowitz tried to work the busted play out across the 40, he fumbled the football. Johnson is back in there now for Waukesha South. Hoagland, though, will get the call inside the 40 down to the 39-yard line. John Ryback there to make the stop. One of those old school inside linebackers for Mukwonago, 6 foot 195 and a senior.
Yeah, he flows well to the ball. He's a wrestler, also runs track. Once again, that's a real theme with Mukwonago. They push the idea of being multi-sport athletes.
Gain of 3, 2nd and 7. The toss to Johnson right side. Anthony Johnson looking for some blocks. At least make something out of nothing as he scampers out of bounds near the 35-yard line.
I had the privilege last spring of coming over to watch something that Mukwonago does, their fitness program that they use with their athletes. I got out here at 6 a.m., school day, 150 kids, boys, girls, variety of sports, all working out, speed as well as strength.
Mark him out at the 37, 3rd and long. Hoagland off the inside handoff, going to be met in the backfield and dropped. I think it was Matt Verts who got there first. Got a hand on him, I think. And then it was Matt Walensky who finished him off. There's a good look at the 5'11 senior Verts. Right there, just enough to slow him up. And then got finished off on the play. So now a loss back to the 41-yard line. A loss of 4 sets up 4th and 9.
Okay, they've decided to go for it. I was actually expecting, since they did a fake punt last week, we might see that again this week. But instead they decided to get into their offensive formation and not be at all subtle. Let's just get the first down.
Mukwonago will take the timeout. Each team now with 2 timeouts remaining. Well, let's step aside here momentarily. Kara had an opportunity to visit with our fine friends at Menards.
I've got John Griffiths, General Manager of the Germantown store, right here with me. John, can you tell me a little bit about Menards?
Menards opened its first retail store right here in Wisconsin in 1960. Our home office is still in Eau Claire, Wisconsin. We've got over 280 stores throughout the Midwest states, and we even have 12 stores right here in the Milwaukee area.
And now, why is it important to support youth sports?
Menards has been a supporter and partner of high school sports here in Wisconsin for many years. We appreciate the hard work and dedication it takes our student athletes to achieve their goals both on the field and in the classroom, and also really appreciate how much work it takes from the community, coaching staff, and teaching staff to help them achieve their goals.
Is there anything else you'd like to add?
We'd like to wish the teams of both Waukesha South and Mukwonago the best of luck, and hope that everyone enjoys the rest of the broadcast.
Thanks, John, and back to you.
Hitch and go on 4th down, looking for Ryan Lark. It's broken up, incomplete. Little pump and go that time between Heck, the quarterback, and Lark, the tight end. Split out to that right side. Pass broken up by Zaborowski, who was out there defensively. We take one more look.
Yeah, Zach's had an excellent game. Comes across, helps knock that ball free.
Levi Pratt was also out there. So they turn it over on downs to Waukesha South. So Mukwonago takes over. 7.5 minutes to go here in the fourth. Send a man in motion, but we'll hand it off to the fullback, Jones, and he is stacked up. Liam Jones, the fullback. Middle of that Waukesha defense, keying on him right now. Did make something out of that. Had about 3 on the play, 2nd down, 7.
Time really of the essence here for Waukesha South. They've got to make them, punt the ball back to them quickly, and they've got to get a score up.
Long time in that huddle here for Hatkowitz. Under 5 seconds on the play clock here. Just gets that one away. Radowitz with a hole, cuts it up the middle. Radowitz will break free. Radowitz, touchdown, Mukwonago. Colin Radowitz. A 56-yard touchdown run.
Saw his speed on display there as he cut through that hole, got upfield. One of the players tonight for Mukwonago, Komar, his father happens to be the head track coach here. You see in any number of the Mukwonago athletes, track stars, also wrestle, basketball players, they really feel that's what gives them an edge. Last week they thought their conditioning paid dividends in the second half with Oak Creek, even though they lost it in overtime. But you can really see, you can make a case here for not specializing.
Extra point by Morris is up and through. 37-17 Mukwonago. 56-yard run on the golden feet of Colin Radowitz tonight, the 6-foot senior.
And the young sophomore certainly has done a nice job filling in as a kicker, Ben Morris.
He is very good. He's kicked the field goal tonight, made the extra points. A 3-play, 56-yard drive. Most of that courtesy of Colin Radowitz.
Once again, they had a huge hole. The offensive line has done an unbelievable job. You've got Jonah Verdani, 6'3", 250-pound senior. Joey Carlson, a small lad at 6'3", 275. Tanner Beland, 5'10", 225 at center. Eric Hendrickson, 5'11", 215, the guard. And Mason Krebs, 6 foot, 200-pound junior. He's the little child on that offensive line.
2 touchdowns tonight for Radowitz, 179 yards rushing for Colin Radowitz.
Mukwonago hangs their hat on it, and the hat's fitting really well this evening.
See if they shore up. It's going to be a short kick taken by the short back up here in the near wing. As Israel Pitchford on special teams there, able to flag that one down for Waukesha South. They will take over their own 38-yard line. Just under 6.5 minutes remaining here in our fourth quarter.
Sure, Coach Roosh wants to see his guys respond. They've got to get ready to go play Catholic Memorial. They want to make sure that they've shown that same mettle that they showed last week against Oconomowoc.
Stacked triplets to the right here for Waukesha South. They'll swing it out, complete the pass out far side. Sanchez with a nice catch and run. Gain of 9, just shy of the first down. Heck to Sanchez, and they'll get to the hurry up. They'll go no huddle here. 2nd and 1 for Waukesha South. Heck stepping up, delivers. Sanchez again, a catch. Breaks the tackle inside the 35 down to the 34-yard line.
Yeah, Heck stood in there, had the rush coming at him, didn't flinch, delivered the ball to Sanchez.
19-yard pickup and a Wisconsin Lutheran College first down. Now Heck wants them to huddle here. Clock will stop while they move the chains. Now it's reset.
Going with 2x2 on the outside for the pass receivers.
Carnegie in motion. Fake to Carnegie. Heck will bring it back in. Over the middle, wide open is Hoagland with a catch inside the 10, down to the 5-yard line.
Well-designed play. Running that man in motion helps pull your free safety out of the way. Leaves it open for that little skinny post that he ran inside.
Ethan Hoagland, 5'8" senior, a little bit shaken up on the play, but sets up the Waukesha South in the Goodwill power zone, the power of work. One more look here with Zaborowski, who got Hoagland to the turf. Good strong hit there. Carnegie with the carry. Gain of about a yard, sets up 2nd and goal. You see Carnegie running that jet sweep to the far side. Johnson trying to get outside, nothing doing there. Wrapped up by Evan Major, the 6'3" senior defensive end. Whole lot of blue shirt wrapped around Johnson that time.
Evan Major plays basketball. Can you imagine trying to drive to the hoop and running into him? That might make you think twice about stepping back and try to shoot the 25-footer.
Timeout taken here by Waukesha South. Will break as well. 4:46 to go, 37-17. Mukwonago on top. Our Badger Max Thursday Night Lights on My 24. Waukesha South driving here, trailing by 20. John Weiser and Terry Kelly with you, along with Mike McGivern and Kara from Mukwonago tonight. Heck wants to throw, goes back over the middle, ball tipped, and it goes incomplete. Nearly picked off. They were looking for Sanchez here on the near side. We were talking about Keanu Komar. He steps up here defensively. Knocked that ball away from Sanchez, and it was nearly picked off before it hit the turf.
Trevor Whelm almost came in and grabbed that ball out of midair.
So 4th and goal for Waukesha South. Johnson the single back behind Heck. He'll now empty the backfield in motion to the right. And we got a timeout.
Timeout, Indians.
Mukwonago will take the timeout. Each team now with 1 timeout remaining.
It looked like Komar was showing his coaches that something was out of whack there with that formation. Obviously, must have inherited wonderful genes from both mom and dad. He's a 4.0 student and senior. And he saw something wasn't quite right. They quickly called the timeout. They don't want to give up this touchdown, let the game be close.
Well, Waukesha South was in this same type of situation earlier, only facing 4th and goal, and when unable to come away with points. This is after they had a 1st and goal at the 1 after a 47-yard run by Anthony Johnson, and going out of bounds at the 1, they came up empty earlier.
Yeah, really truly was the turning point in the game.
So Heck will get them set here. Johnson the single back. Again, he'll go in motion to the right. Empty backfield now for Heck. 4th and goal, wants to throw over the middle, caught by Hoagland, back of the end zone, touchdown Waukesha South.
Excellent catch, initially bounced off his hands and then he reached up, pulled it back in. Hoagland has had an excellent game for the Black Shirts.
Ethan Hoagland on this drive, 2 huge receptions. And this one for the touchdown as we look again. Both feet down, kept possession of the football. Ryback was with him all the way to the back of the end zone. Sanchez's extra point is blocked. So Waukesha South trims the deficit to 14 here with 4:37 left. Onside kick, Coach, perhaps? What do you think?
Oh, you have to. You can't afford to give the ball back. And once again, Coach Roosh has to be proud of how his guys hang in there. I know that's not any solace for, finding yourself behind, but his guys have certainly shown they have pride.
Or look at that blocked extra point. I think it was Zaborowski who got a hand on it. Number 8 for Mukwonago.
Yeah, you didn't see very good protection on that kick from the line. I think Waukesha South is tired. Mukwonago, the big, strong line that they have, has been wearing them down. I think it got to the point that, they're fighting, but you can only go so far. And Mukwonago has excellent team depth.
It's like the Indians will put their good hands team up front here. Led by Zaborowski, you see in your picture there. 7-play, 62-yard drive. Capped off by the 14-yard touchdown pass from Heck to Ethan Hoagland. So Sanchez teeing it up right at the middle of the 40-yard line, but see if they attempt some sort of an onside kick here. Mukwonago anticipating it. And it will be. Deflects hard off the Mukwonago player, and Waukesha South may have it. Still scrumming for that football at midfield. It hit the Mukwonago player. It went 11 yards, and Waukesha South came up with it. Again, the kick has to go 10 yards. It was just across the 50-yard line. Might have been Caleb Dorothy who came up with the recovery.
Antonio Sanchez played that carom perfectly. It was like he played pool, came right off the hands. Number 21.
Dorothy there, right there, you bet. Good shot of it there. Great job by our crew to capture that one. So Waukesha South at midfield. 3 receivers near side, empty backfield. Heck now trying to step up, breaks out of a tackle on the run. Heck will get to the near sideline and out of bounds. Near the 45-yard line on the scramble by quarterback Nolan Heck.
Yeah, stops the clock. They gain 5 yards on the play.
One of the few times tonight they've gone empty. Good coverage downfield, forcing Heck to take it up. 2nd and 5. Johnson the single back. Double slot here. Blitz on the outside. Heck steps up, lofts the ball downfield. Carnegie with the catch. Carnegie inside the 10. Carnegie will score.
Excellent job by Heck to avoid that tackle, step up, get that ball to Carnegie.
45-yard touchdown pass from Heck to Tyler Carnegie, the senior captain on offense.
He avoids that rush, lobs the ball over the defensive back, was caught looking into the backfield watching what was happening to the quarterback.
One more look. He beat Zach Hintz, the outside linebacker did Carnegie. And the extra point is up and through by Sanchez. Boy, for the 2nd week in a row, Waukesha South within a touchdown of its opponent in the 2nd half.
You really have to admire the Waukesha South coaching staff, how they've instilled in their players that never give up attitude, and you've got to tip your hat to the players in terms of how they respond. I think Coach Roosh has got a real culture built within this program. They were close last year. They had one of the top 10 offenses in the state. And I think it's a question if they just had a bit more depth and a little bit more size. But, boy, there's no lack of fight in the black shirts, that's for sure.
Set up by the onside kick recovery at midfield. So we get a look at the extra point by Sanchez to cap off that drive. 45-yard touchdown pass to Carnegie. 2 plays, 50 yards, and 17 seconds.
All right, can you do it twice?
Waukesha South student section on their feet now.
Well, you ask the Green Bay Packers, what do you do if you don't handle the onside kick, right?
Again, he'll drive it hard into the turf. This time, Mukwonago able to recover. Able to make the recovery. Gabe Szyzowskis able to fall on it, going the turtle there at the 45 of Mukwonago.
Now you've got to gamble a little bit if you're Waukesha South. You've got to be running some blitzes. You got to try to get into that backfield, disrupt something, dislodge that ball. You just get your hands on it so you've got that shot.
We only have 1 timeout remaining here, the final 4:11. Atkowitz will lead them out. Try and ride to the fullback, and he's stopped for a loss back at the 44-yard line. There might have been a fumble as well. Let's see. Slowly unpiling. Waukesha South recovers another fumble. They've had trouble with this the last 2 weeks. One more look. Atkowitz and Jones, and Atkowitz couldn't get his hands out. He wanted to give it to Jones, just couldn't get his hands free, and in the process, the ball got stripped. Let's see who got that for Waukesha South. Skylar Soderman, I believe. Little hitch and go to the right. Now Heck under some pressure. And Heck's going to throw it out of bounds. Looking for Lark coming back to the football that time. Late penalty marker back at midfield.
Well, offensive coordinator Aaron Rush was part of some wonderful teams down at UW-Whitewater, national championship teams. I'm sure he's in his playbook, he's got a wide variety of plays, but you got to give your quarterback a little bit of time so he can make that throw.
This will be a holding call here. We'll move Waukesha South back as we head down to the sidelines and Mike McGivern.
Hey guys, listen to the defensive coordinator at Mukwonago talking about that last play. He said, look, don't let anybody get behind you. I understand that. I had us in a bad spot. I'll take the blame on that, but not again.
Coach is stepping up for Mukwonago. So the 10-yard penalty from the spot moves the football back to the 39 of Waukesha South. Heck dancing, now cuts it upfield. Nowhere to go. Down he goes. Evan Major getting there along with Trevor Wilm. Wilm has had a heck of a ball game tonight. 8 tackles tonight for Wilm.
Yeah, Nolan's got to make sure he doesn't take that sack. He's got to find a way to, and you can see Anthony Johnson kind of standing there as the release, but it's not done as kind of a planned play.
Empty backfield with Johnson in motion to the near side. Low snap, Heck able to pick it up. Now gains composure, comes back, has his man Carnegie. Makes the catch, dances across midfield and out of bounds. Tyler Carnegie, who caught that touchdown pass earlier, comes up with another big reception here. Makes it a little bit more manageable here on third down.
And they got back about half the distance. You don't have to try to get it all at once. And you really have 2 plays now to try to get that first down. Clock, unfortunately, is working against the Blackshirts, though.
It'll be a 3rd and 15 from midfield for Waukesha South. Lark and Hoagland to the right. Carnegie lined up in a slot near side with Sanchez and Johnson. Empty once again for Heck. Low snap. Steps up, fires far side. It is knocked away, incomplete. Again looking for Hoagland. Broken up by Nick Tangway.
Yeah, ball hung up just a little bit. They couldn't make that quick connection.
So the game in the balance here on 4th and 15 from midfield. Ball just a little bit lower may have been the key there. It's thrown high and just a little bit out of reach, but credit Tangway there. Close and knock it away. 4th and 15 for the Black Shirts.
Yeah, that last play, Mukwonago only came with a 3-man rush. They're dropping 8, trying to cut off all the open areas in the zone.
Again, 5 receivers going out on 4th and 15. Heck steps up over the middle looking for Johnson. Makes the catch and takes a hit inside the 25, down at the 23-yard line. 27-yard pickup and a Wisconsin Lutheran College first down. John Rybeck able to make the tackle and the hit here.
Heck put it right on the money. Good catch, but an even better job hanging on to the ball after taking that shot.
Might have been Komar who delivered the blow there. My mistake. Keanu Komar. First down, Waukesha South at the 24. Heck rolling right. Now we'll toss it and completes the pass. See where they mark forward progress near the 20-yard line. Carnegie with another clutch catch, but he stayed in bounds. Clock is rolling, 2:25.
Good thing, though, is they didn't take a loss. They got a 3-yard gain out of it. 2nd and 7, very manageable situation.
This time Carnegie in motion to the right. Hitch and go. He'll dump it back to Carnegie. Makes the catch. Dancing inside the 20. Dives forward to the 12.
Very nice concept there. They faked that they were going to dump the ball. He turned away. Defense dropped back. Gave the ball.
Komar again on the stop. 5th stop tonight. It'll be another Wisconsin Lutheran College first down. The clock stopped while they move the chain.
More than enough time for Waukesha South. We know that they got to go for the 2-point conversion. They just got to make sure they keep their wits about them. Meanwhile, Mukwonago's got to find a way, maybe a little bit more pressure, see if they send one of their backers this time.
Now they go back to the double wing. Hoagland to the right, Johnson to the left. Inside handoff from Johnson to Hoagland. He'll dive down to the 10-yard line. Would have been Tangway on the stop there. Number 29 for Mukwonago. One more look. Was Tangway. Did a nice job coming off the block there. Wrap him up low. We're inside the Goodwill power zone. The power of work. So Mukwonago denies the 2-point conversion attempt here. They went with the power I. Again, we apologize for our transmission troubles, but you missed a 12-yard touchdown pass by Waukesha South. That set up the 2-point conversion attempt here late. We've got a replay of it for you here coming up. Heck rolling out to his left and then looking to the back of the end zone and cutting across was Carnegie. for the touchdown score. Originally, the South was lining up to kick the extra point. Dave Roosh calling a timeout. They went for 2. I believe it was Rasmussen who got the carry that time, the fullback out of that power I formation. And he was denied on the 2-point conversion, as you'll see here. Just coming up a yard shy as the defense wrapped him up short of the goal line.
Yeah, no matter what happens, you cannot fault Waukesha South. They're going for the win, playing as hard as they can.
Well, it's not over yet. They had an onside kick recovery earlier. You know it's coming here.
Don't count out the black shirts.
No. I'm sure there's 6 other teams in this Classic 8 taking note. This time the short pop-up kick. And it deflects off the receiver originally, and he's able to fall on it back near the 31-yard line. Nice recovery there. Joel DePons on special teams, able to fall on it here. So South out of timeouts. Victory formation upcoming here for Mukwonago, but tell you what, gotta love the heart and the passion here for Waukesha South. They fought their way back. Tyler Carnegie with a couple of clutch touchdown grabs. Nolan Heck led them on 2 successive scoring drives. The onside kick that led to a touchdown. Second week in a row, however, the comeback falling short. As Hakowitz will take the knee, and that will do it here tonight in Mukwonago. What an outstanding ball game in the Classic 8 here tonight as the Indians hang on, denying Waukesha South the 2-point conversion at the end to take a 37-36 victory in the conference opener for both teams.
As those guys shake hands with each other, there's a tremendous amount of respect that both teams have for how hard they played, how they fought the whole way through, and once again, if you've got 440 teams across Wisconsin playing football, 220 of them aren't going to win, but that doesn't mean it hasn't been a worthwhile experience. And I'm sure Waukesha South, they're not going to have to hang their head down. By the same token, Mukwonago played a hard-fought game as well, and 2 teams, you can see why the meat grinder of the Classic 8 is one that can just wear you down.
37-36, your final. Mukwonago with the win. Back with our post-game coverage after this, our Badger Max Thursday Night Lights on My 24. What a ball game tonight here in Mukwonago. The Indians hang on at the end. A 2-point conversion denied in the final 23 seconds here as the Indians take a 1-point victory tonight, 37-36 over Waukesha South. As we head downstairs to Mike McGivern, our Player of the Game award.
Hey guys, here with the U.S. Army Player of the Game, number 22, Colin Radowitz. Colin, well done. Way to hold on. 1-0 in conference, that's the key, right?
Yes, sir. It's a great feeling, and I'm excited.
Hey, hold on here, man. Hugh's been talking. We're gonna get out his Twitter account. Hold on. What's your Twitter account?
All right, follow me on Twitter at crad1234 and follow and at MuckTrack.
Hey, there you go. Staff Sergeant Lewis, you've got he's our Player of the Game. You got something for him?
I do. On behalf of the United States Army, I want to congratulate you on being the United States Army High School Football Player of the Game.
That's awesome. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Back to you boys in the booth.
Mike, thank you so much. Radowitz tonight, an outstanding game. Pair of touchdowns tonight, 179 yards rushing. Our Army Strong Player of the Game brought to you all season long by the U.S. Army. Army Strong. 37-36, our final tonight. So we get a look at the highlight reel now for Radowitz, both running and catching tonight.
Right, outstanding job. I'm pretty sure he'd like to tip his hat also to his offensive line, and Tommy Hedkowitz had also had an excellent game.
Strong run on the cutback up the middle. One of his 2 touchdown runs tonight for Colin Radowitz, our Army Strong Player of the Game, brought to you by the United States Army. Once again, let's head downstairs for our trophy presentation, Mr. McGivern.
Boys, the Badger Max Trophy. Before we do that, Cal, that's exciting, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, the good team won tonight.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, look at that camera and say, you bet.
You bet.
Go Indians. Go Indians.
Go Indians.
That's what I'm talking about. Hey, Coach, congratulations. I got to tell you, every time we come out here, man, it's unbelievable. There's always great finishes. 1-0 in conference, that's the key. Congratulations. This is a good team you have. Waukesha South played awfully well down the stretch, but you guys held on.
Yeah, both teams showed a lot of heart. You got to give a tremendous amount of credit to Waukesha South. They battled when they could have given in multiple times. But I'll give these guys a lot of credit, too. They could have backed down. They haven't. I wouldn't want to be a part of any other team in the state than this one. I love these guys. Give South credit. It was a great high school football game. It's what high school sports are about.
Yeah, no doubt. Hey, a lot of credit to your offensive line. You had a good game tonight, man. You feeling good?
Oh, yeah. We're 1-0 in conference.
Yeah, that's right. You got that straight. Hey, boys, the Badger Max trophy is one. I'm not going to make Kevin hold it any longer. Kevin?
Thanks. I'll tell you what, it is getting a little tiring here, so I'm glad we got a good, strong quarterback here. But, guys, congratulations on the first conference win. Exciting game. Again, a win's a win, right? Good luck the rest of the way, Coach. We're proud of you guys, and here's the Badger Max Trophy of the week. Congratulations.
Get out.
Mukwonago a winner tonight, 37-36, getting the Badger Max Trophy. We'll pause, take another break. Back with a final word from Mukwonago right after this. (37-36) Mukwonago over Waukesha South. The Indians now 2-1 overall, 1-0 in league play. South falls to 1-2, 0-1 in league play. We can only hope next week's game is just as exciting. The showdown in K-Town. We'll be in Kenosha next week for our Badger Max Thursday Night Lights as the Tremper Trojans take on the Indian Trail Hawks next Thursday night at 7 right here on My 24. For Kara and Mike McGivern, our game analyst Terry Kelly, and our entire My 24 crew, John Weiser saying good night from Mukwonago. The Indians, the 1-point win on Badger Max Thursday Night Lights on My 24. Good night, everyone.